My sister begged me to carry her baby, but the doctors said no.
You should listen to the doctors.
So just over 4 months ago, I gave birth to my fourth and last child. It was a high-risk pregnancy, and the birth was very difficult. Me and baby are both fine now, thank goodness. My doctors advised me that it'd be best to not have any more kids, and I agreed. My husband just recently had a vasectomy and is now recovering. By the way, this comes from user ThrowRA Affectionate1, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Pretty please. As OP says, my sister and her boyfriend have tried planning for a family for a while, but recently found out she can't conceive. She has been very upset about this, and I do feel sorry for her. Our family mentioned adoption or surrogacy for them, and even though my sister's boyfriend was on board, my sister said she needed time to think. Well, a couple of nights ago, my sister called me to tell me her and her boyfriend had agreed on surrogacy, and we talked for a bit. After a while, she brought up the fact of how I had done so well in all my pregnancies and how I must have loved being pregnant. I knew exactly where this was going and reminded her how my last pregnancy was, and yet here she told me everything was fine now, so what was my issue? I told her even though I'm fine now, I won't put myself through that again, and just because I am fine now doesn't mean everything will be fine the next time. She then straight up asked me if I would be her surrogate or not. I straight up told her, no. She then started screaming into the phone about how selfish I am. Okay. And how I needed to look out for my sister and help her when she needed it most. I then told her I would help her with anything else, but I was not putting my own health at risk and potentially leaving my kids without a mom and my husband a widow.
Yeah.
At this point, I get it. There's other options. Could you find another surrogate? I cannot.
At this point, we're not being nice anymore. If you've explained that this could, lead to your passing and she's calling you selfish for it, we are not nice anymore.
This is my life on the line. And
this is how selfish can you be to ask me to do that?
yeah.
Right back at you.
Bingo. My sister went on to continually scream about how selfish I was being and how much of a witch I was being. At this point, I hang up the phone. I say, sorry, wrong number. I hung up on her. I didn't think about it and went to bed. The next morning, my phone was blowing up with Facebook messages and calls from friends and family. My sister had gone on Facebook after I hung up on her, and she went on and witched on Facebook about me. That's annoying.
That's insane.
She went on about how I wouldn't let her be a mom and how I had 4 kids while not being a nice sister and give her a baby. Who
on Facebook, though, is reading that and being like, oh my God, you're so right. She really should get pregnant and deliver your baby. You're so right.
Yeah, and okay.
I hope no one's on her side.
If everyone is pinging me and messaging me, and then I would post, I'll make, hey guys, so
here's
the doctor
reason.
said, first, my last pregnancy was high risk. If I do this, there is a high chance I will not make it, my kids will not have a mother, and my husband will lose a wife.
And also, high risk also just means that, the
baby won't even
might have difficulties.
It's the sister's annoying. I was apparently being selfish. My mom and a small handful of people are extremely angry at me and calling me all sorts of names for being selfish, while my dad, brothers, and several other people are taking my side. Everyone on my sister's side doesn't want to hear my side of the story. Of course they don't. They think I'm doing this for my own selfish intentions and not my health. My mom and dad have been fighting back and forth now because my dad won't take my sister's side. And this is exactly when we were kids. My mom would always take her baby's side. I'm extremely pissed off that this has caused problems to this point that my sister gets family involved. I should not have to put my own health at risk for her. I don't think I'm being selfish at all, but I'm not sure how to fix this. Any advice, please? We have an edit. I will not give up or donate one of my kids to my sister.
That's
I would
insane.
hope not.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Who told you to do that?
Did she say that? I'm sorry. We have some comments, but I think you need to air this out no matter what. Oh, you're not going to hear it? It's straight up my life. And if someone says, oh, then get the doctor's note. Doctor's note. Boom. If I have to post proof of this, I shouldn't have to. But the fact that people are coming at me.
Insanity. Disgusting, all of them.
We have a comment. Your sister needs therapy. not a baby. If you feel like laying out your counter argument with any medical documentation on social media to demonstrate another pregnancy is a health risk, do that. If people still want to come for you, then block and go no contact. Explain that you are not an incubator, and those that want to treat you as such will neither have access to you or your children. Maintain your relationship with your father and brothers. Do not maintain one with your mother. She is a favorite, and that makes her toxic. You don't need that in your life. And we have an update. I'm going to get straight into it.
Please do.
So, I did what a few people suggested, and I wrote a post on Facebook about my situation. I used a few of those people's words. Quite a few people who were on my sister's side told me that when they read her post, they messaged her, and she told them about our conversation, but didn't bring up my problems with my last pregnancy. Shocking.
Wow, I'm shocked.
And those are the people who went to full arms without asking you.
Yikes.
Those people suck. I would literally send them the message, and be like, all right, cool, clear, block.
So glad you asked for my side of things. Bye.
Yep. And they're all disgusted for her to keep such information like this out of her post. A few family members who I thought knew about my situation didn't actually know and called to apologize. A few people still think I'm not doing the right thing, though. Those people are idiots. Several people tagged my sister in my post to tell her off, but she has blocked everyone and called to scream at me for writing about personal information. Girly pop, you started this. I ended up hanging up on her. Her boyfriend, who doesn't go on Facebook that much, was looking through posts yesterday to find all this drama. This is going to turn out really well.
Oh, no.
He called me and explained he had no idea my sister even asked me, and even brought up finding a surrogacy with her, but she always complained it was too much, and also brought up adoption a lot, and she always said, maybe. He also told me that this was something he would have talked her out of if she brought it up to him. Needless to say, he was very much against this idea. My mom never commented on my post or said anything, so I called her to get together for lunch, and she actually agreed. Okay, but by the time I arrived, she started telling me off for going on Facebook to complain.
Did you not see the original post that mine was in response of?
Do we not remember who started this? Apparently, I should talk privately, and this was a family matter. I then asked her how my body was a family matter, and all she said was, I made you, so it's a family matter. I then went on to tell her how it wasn't, and what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, and all she said was, they will live.
Huh?
They will live.
Okay, bye. Not talking to you anymore.
What about
kidding
me? Do I get a say?
Clearly you don't care if I'm here or not, so I'm out with all the kids. We're all going. Not talking to you anymore.
I'm going no contact with Mama.
Yeah, jeez.
I can live without you, Mama. I could not believe the stubbornness of this woman. I then went on to tell her that whether they lived or not, it was still going to break them. My oldest child would go back to her dad, and the younger three would stay with my husband. Separating them would break them even more. She still said they would live, and then went on to tell me that I need to do the right thing for my family, because giving birth to 4 kids isn't, so a 5th would be a big deal, and I needed to grow up and act like an adult. Aww. At this point, I'm like, all right, you have the baby. You be a surrogate.
Yeah, you have the baby then, Mom.
If it's so simple for you to say these words, you be a surrogate. Do it for the family. Oh, you can't?
What's that? Doctors told you shouldn't?
Doctor said you couldn't? Oh,
Wow.
that's a shame.
You're
Do
really
it.
not stepping up for the family there, Mom.
Ridiculous. At this point, I pretty much just got up and left. I literally cried all the way home from how angry and upset I am with this woman. Not long after that, my dad showed up at my doorstep and asked if he'd stay for a while. Apparently, he asked my mom how our lunch went, and my mom told him I was still refusing to do a simple task for my sister. And when my dad pressed her for information, she wouldn't give him anything else. So, he told her off for not thinking of all her kids instead of her golden child, because things could end worse this time. My mother only told him that it's my fault then for not looking after myself. So my dad left her. We sat down and I told him what actually happened. He wasn't happy at all.
Go Dad,
At least
though.
one of your parents has some sense.
Yeah.
My dad even kept both my brothers informed too, and they've tried talking some sense into our mom, but she still isn't budging. In all honesty, this has depressed me. I feel my mom is grandchildren hungry, if that's a thing, and isn't really thinking of the negatives here. She's ruining relationships with 3 of her children and her husband to make her baby happy. In all honesty, there have always been situations between any of us siblings where my sister gets away with everything. My mom never told her no, So she is definitely a spoiled child. There would have been some point when me or my brothers wouldn't be speaking to our mom or sister. So it's now come to that time where everyone is starting to cut them off. By the way, you should never cut us off, because we have full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left. The fact that you guys do this recurring cycle of, everyone pretty much cuts off like mom and sister because they just won't stop, that's crazy. Again, she's like not diverting. It's like, oh, your sister, like, you did this. I wouldn't talk to my mom anymore. The fact that she said, oh, if I did do this, no, the kids will live. If you don't, that's fine. They'll live.
It's insane.
That's not a mother right there.
That's
I'm sorry.
no.
We have a little bit left. My dad has been living with me since he left my mom, and the kids and my husband love having him around. I know he will eventually try talking to my mom again, but whether they get back together or not just depends. In all honesty, it seems like my mom doesn't care. And if they do divorce, I'll probably be to blame. Haha, I can already see it happening. Oh, and that's the end of that story. That sucks.
I refuse to share the inheritance with my siblings. Now they're taking legal action.
Oh, we got lawyers on deck.
My father passed away a few months ago. In his will, he left his entire estate to me, explicitly disinheriting my brother, Mark, 40 male, and sister, Jenna, 38 female. By the way, this comes from Fluffy Spanish, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, the thing is, 10 years ago, my father gave them $150,000 each as an advance in their inheritance to start businesses because they begged and begged.
So these people have already been given 150 racks.
Each, dude.
Yeah, get out of here with that business.
Freaking crazy.
If you wasted 150 racks, that is not on me.
Not on me. He had a lot of money back then, so it wasn't much to him. Both of them blew it within 2 years on vacations, cars, etc. And they had the nerve to ask him for more. Oh my God. When he refused, they got cruel. They stopped visiting, wouldn't let him see his grandkids, and badmouthed him to the entire family, claiming he was a miser who was hoarding their money. Their money? This man, 10 years before he passed away, gave you an advance in his inheritance. That's insane.
Literally, all you had to do was be just nice. Just be nice, folks.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it.
That's literally like so insanely generous to be like, hey, like when I pass away, you're going to get this money. I know I'm not passing away, hopefully anytime soon, but I'm going to give you some of that money now.
Yeah.
So when I do pass away, don't come for me.
Blowing 150 racks in 2 years.
That's insane. I was the one who was there for him. I took him to doctor's appointments, helped him with finances without ever touching a dime for myself because unlike my siblings, I have a great job that I worked hard for and was with him in hospice when he passed away. It was just me and him at the end. His will is ironclad, written by his longtime lawyer, and includes a clause stating they received their share during my lifetime. Mark and Jenna are furious. They've been blowing up my phone, saying I poisoned him against them. They're bad-mouthing me to the family, and I'm getting phone calls from relatives that I should help them. Now, they've hired a lawyer, and today I was served papers. They're threatening to contest the will, claiming I took advantage of our father in his old age and used undue influence to get him to cut them out.
Yes. The undue influence of being there for him and helping him and taking care of him.
Yeah.
Undue influence.
Come on. They offered to drop the lawsuit if I just give them $100,000 each. I told them to get lost and that I would never give them a single cent of our father's money after how they treated him. I am so angry I can barely speak. Am I the a-hole for telling them I'd see them in court and refusing to give them anything? I'm honestly worried that fighting this in court will take more in legal fees than just paying them, but I'm so angry that I need an outside opinion because I've lost perspective. And there are some comments, but what do you think, Dakota?
No, fight them.
Fight 'em.
They don't have the money to fight you, right?
Pow pow with the legal things.
Get them.
Get them.
Get them.
Get them.
I bet they'll drop it themselves because they won't win.
Yeah, I wonder if you can like counter with getting money from them because of like how much it's going to cost you in legal fees and everything.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is like a written will that's just out here for you. I didn't do nothing. And now you're bringing me here? Yeah.
Yeah, you said great.
Pay me.
So you go, so when you lose the
Yeah.
court fight, just letting you know, you'll have to end up paying all my legal fees because this is legal harassment.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that a thing?
I don't know, but I would tell that to them.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Just throw some words out and I'm sure they'll get scared. Or there are some comments. Kindly Push says, not the a-hole. Like the will states, your siblings received their inheritance while your father was alive. You know you have nothing to feel guilty about. Even if you gave them money, they would blow through it and ask again for handouts, as it's not fair. You still have money and they don't.
You know what? Maybe you do this. Maybe you go to them and you go, hey, anything your kids need, I got it. Just,
There you go.
tell me what it is.
But I need to like be there to buy it directly. Like,
Yeah, I'll get
I'm
it.
not gonna give you money.
You're
I'm
getting
gonna
no
send
cash
you-
from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you diapers and send
Yeah.
you, whatever you need.
Whatever you need for the kids.
Yeah.
I got it.
I got it. Block them and carry on with your life knowing that you were there for your dad. And there's another comment. Irrelevant Manatee says, not the a-hole. Don't give them a cent. They're bluffing. They can try to sue, but they would need some proofs in order for the trials to take place. As they don't have anything, the trial probably won't even happen. OP says, I thought the same thing until I got served papers and it all became real. I'm going to call a lawyer once I stop fuming. I just hate the idea of losing any money at all over this. The worst is I feel like I'm the only one in this family who's grieving and I'm just so drained over all of this. It's been a very long few months. Also, I really like my nieces and nephews. The idea of not seeing them again is awful. And OK Recognition says, contact the lawyer who helped your father with his will. Opie says, thank you. Why didn't I think of this? It's been such a long few months. I have an appointment with an attorney tomorrow, but I'll call him now. Lazy Instruction says, definitely call your dad's old lawyer. He may have drafted some sort of acknowledgement that the prior payouts to your siblings were made as their early inheritance distribution. If they signed anything like that, they are gone in the water. If their lawyer sees that, they will drop your siblings as clients in a heartbeat. The overall judgment, of course, is not the a-hole. And there is an update from 2 days later.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What can happen in just 2 days?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Update. I just wanted to make a quick update. Thanks to everyone who suggested contacting the lawyer who drew up the will. I sent him all the papers and texts that I received, and it turns out that sending people texts in California that say things like, it won't stop until you give us the money, is considered criminal extortion by letter, which is a felony.
Oh, way to
Oh
go.
boy, would you look at that?
You played yourselves.
Oh man.
Congrats.
Wow.
Looks like a felony happened in 2 days.
Yeah. He contacted their lawyer, and it turns out they had lied to him about a lot of things, and he was not enthused about the extortion. Everything fell apart pretty fast, and it didn't cost me anything. I'll probably never see my nieces and nephews again, at least not until they're much older, and the other family members are angry at me because they feel the extortion was actually my fault for, quote, giving them no other options. I'm sorry, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy when you had the option of not blowing all your money on
Literally.
cars and vacations.
Yeah, like it's not even like they didn't get anything at all by just being bad kids to this dad. They got so much money.
Yeah, you were given what you wanted.
Yes.
And you squandered it.
10 years ago. Like,
And then he didn't want to give you any more money, and you flipped on him and became cruel little nasty
yes.
little gremlins.
Yes, exactly. I decided I'm going to just move away and find peace elsewhere after I'm done dealing with the estate. And by the way, you can move on over to your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you choose, and search up OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes of stories just like this one.
Yes, you are.
And there is a little bit more to the story. I'm just going to roll right into it.
Let's go.
I can't believe things got so ugly over money, but I'm out. Some people commented in my original post that they had had similar experiences, and I really feel for all of you. It's a really unfair position to be put in, and there's a helpless element to it that just sucks. Learned a valuable lesson about the importance of keeping receipts. And there are some quick comments. Outcast Spice says, thanks for the update. People get really unhinged when there's a passing in the family and money is involved. Glad you'll be able to get some space, and I'm sorry for your loss. Opie says, I'm realizing their goal is just to have everyone be as miserable as they are. It's not really about the money, it's that I might be happy and they'll still be miserable, and that's unacceptable for them.
That's so true.
Yeah.
There's just people who are like that.
Yeah. Even if they had the money, I don't think anything would have changed. I hope the kids rebel and turn into decent human beings as they grow up. If they do, I hope to hear from them someday. Aggravating Sock says, consider writing letters for your nibblings, giving them a short summary of the truth of what happened. Since you know their parents are going to absolutely trash you to them, and let them know that you'll always love them and be there for them. Then talk with your lawyer if it's possible to have those letters served to them on their 18th birthdays. And there you go. That's the end of that story, end of the comments. Yeah, I think those are great ideas. Yeah. Just say, hey, I'm still there for you. And then your parents were probably like, oogie boogie, he's a bad man. But
Yeah,
like,
that's why I think if you reach out and be like, you know, I can help you out with your kids,
yeah,
then
exactly.
that's within reason.
I think that's a great way to deal with things. Yeah, but good for you. You didn't even have to go to court because you called them out immediately.
Because they committed felonies.
Felonies.
Wow.
Boo.
My sister eloped years ago, and now she's basically a stranger.
Takes one to know one.
9 years ago, I was 18 at the time, my older sister eloped with her then boyfriend. Our parents, we are an immigrant family, were vehemently opposed to her relationship. I remember me being okay with it, personally, but it wasn't my place. She eloped with her boyfriend and cut off all contact with us. By the way, this comes from Substantial by 4881. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. And OP says, my parents were beside themselves. I tried reaching out to her back then on different platforms, but was blocked. I even reached out to her best friends and asked them if they could at least get me in touch with her, and they said she didn't know where she lived now, but that she'd told them she was happy. She had also left her workplace. Eventually, we all, me and my parents, came to an unspoken agreement to pretend she was never here, and I blocked her everywhere too. That sounds toxic.
That's like a bad agreement to come to.
I can't imagine why your sister went no contact with everybody.
You went, well, we tried our best. She's gone forever now. She doesn't exist.
Yes, she was never born.
Sister? I never had a sister.
I remember being extra particular to call regularly when I was in college because I was worried about their state of mind. We're now at a place where I can't remember the last time she crossed our minds. Yesterday, my sister knocked on my apartment door. She cried and hugged me when she saw me. I hugged her back initially, too. I wasn't really thinking at the time. She was just going on about how much I had changed, how much she'd missed me all these years. Eventually, I kind of remembered everything and asked her why she was here and who had given her my address. She said she had swore to them that she wouldn't tell. I asked her why she didn't call first, since whoever gave my address probably gave my number too. She said she just wanted to see me in person. I told her we'd gotten over her. Why was she here? She said her issue had only been with our parents, not me. I told her about how I'd been blocked too by her when she left.
They say, like, I didn't have an issue with you, even though I completely blocked you.
This
my
is a
life.
mess. She told me she was sorry she had hurt me, but she had wanted a fresh start. Told me I was an uncle to a nephew and a niece. They weren't there at the time. They were at their father's. They had recently divorced. She acted surprised that I wouldn't know. She said she'd told someone to tell our parents about them. Maybe it was hearing about the divorce that frustrated me more, because if we were going to have gone through all this pain, at least she could have found lasting happiness. I just told her she was a stranger to me now. She said we could have lunch together, and she wanted to know all about what I'd been up to, but I told her it was best if we continued to have no contact. She didn't act like an older sister when I needed her to, and that we were no longer family. We had mourned her already, and we were now strangers. She was tearful. She gave me her address and phone number and left. Last night, I spoke to my girlfriend about what had happened. She said she was still my sister and that I shouldn't have just turned her away. I told her she didn't know what we'd gone through in the days after she had eloped, but I still wanted to know here, am I the a-hole?
I don't think you're the a-hole at all. Maybe your sister really does want this relationship, and perhaps it could be beneficial in the long run. Possibly. But you don't owe her anything.
Yeah, you don't owe the relationship, considering she blocked you as well, even though she said she had no problem with you.
My only thing is, I think that you kind of miss her too, as much as you say, I've forgotten about her, because you hugged her. You said, like, immediately you hugged her.
Yeah, I think your unspoken coping mechanism that you guys developed may be backfiring now. I think you should entertain the lunch and then decide from there what you want to do.
Completely agree.
But she was also moving so weird. She didn't call you. She didn't message you. She just showed up at your front door. It's kind of like an ambush. And there's an update from 4 days later. I had been emotionally drained almost after meeting my sister. Like I said, I had made my peace after a lot of hurt and futile hope that I would never see her again. She had my number and I hadn't blocked the new number of hers. I had thought about it and received advice too, but I just didn't. It slipped from my mind. She asked me on Tuesday how I was doing and asked if we could meet on Wednesday. She really wanted me to meet her kids. I was really conflicted. I didn't want to oblige her, but I decided to say yes to at least meet them. I went to her apartment yesterday and met my niece and nephew. My niece had recently turned 9 and my nephew is 6. They're great kids and I really enjoyed seeing them. I remember feeling a certain way when my sister was introducing me and she told him that the way he's my niece's younger brother, similarly, I'm her younger brother. We talked a bit and started talking about stories from us growing up. I hadn't and still haven't said everything's okay between us, but our stories and the conversation went smoothly. I learned that after she eloped and got married, she had moved in with her husband into his place in a town a few hours away from us. That around 2019, they had moved to the city we were currently in. According to her, she didn't know all this time that I later moved here for work after college too. I told her about what I had been up to all these years, my college, my job, my girlfriend, etc. After that, the kids were in their room, and my sister brought up us all doing something again over the weekend. I told her we weren't okay, and she can't expect me to forget everything. She said she was sorry, and that her moving out had nothing to do with me, and that she missed me. But you blocked him.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, maybe so, but it still affected him. It still, hurt him. So regardless of your intention there, you can't really change how he took that.
Yeah, your sister is going to have to sit down and dine at the banquet of her consequence.
Yeah.
I was angry at the fact that she had no idea the pain I had gone through, both personally and then having to be the crutch for my parents' pain. I told her that I didn't believe her, that she would have been perfectly fine with never seeing me again if she hadn't gotten divorced, and that I could have been passed away and she probably wouldn't have broken a sweat upon learning it, since she was so blissed out from her domestic life. I know it was ugly. I've never said anything like this, but in that moment, I just wanted her to feel some kind of hurt of the kind she had given me. She broke down and said I can hate her if I want, but to just not hate her forever, there has to be a limit. I regretted saying what I said when I saw her crying, so I just sat next to her and asked about why they had divorced. She told me that their life had been going all right the first few years. She said she'd even sent word through a mutual when the kids were born, which either the mutual messed up or my sister did because we never heard about it. Well, your parents might know, and they might have never told you.
Yeah.
That might be a thing.
I would be wondering about that.
The responsible party, I think, would be your parents. Because they kind of your sister left, but then your parents fomented this kind of bitter hatred
Yeah, we
inside
can't
you.
talk about her ever.
Being like, yeah, she didn't exist. That's wild. She said when the vid happened, her marriage became bad and that it had uncovered a side of her ex she never knew. He became awful, had disdain for their son, revealed he used to record every single conversation of theirs, had convinced her she was crazy and a bad wife and mother, that she stuck with him because of the kids until she had enough, and that a very good neighbor of theirs whom she had become friends with gave her a lot of support and even helped line her up with a job. During all of this, she even blamed our parents for her sticking with the marriage for so long and for not reaching out. That's not their fault. That's kind of your fault, right?
I'm worried that this person hasn't really learned anything yet.
it feels like, well, that didn't work out. So now I
Yeah.
can just go back to the people I completely abandoned.
Yeah.
I told her they had literally pleaded with her not to do this. I was there. I was 18, not 8. She said they told her she was passed away to them if she ran off with him, and so she blamed them for her not being able to leave him. I told her that was insane logic, and she just didn't want to talk about them and asked me not to tell them about her. I said, yeah, her relationship with them is her own. I also asked her who had given her my address. She begged me not to ask that they hadn't given it easily, and she'd had to swear secrecy and cry and convince them that I'd want to see my older sister, so I dropped it. And by the way, you never have to drop listening to full episodes with stories like this, because you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you've got a mountain of stories to listen to.
So many.
And there's a little bit left of this story. Where does the blame lie? Like, whose fault is it? I don't even know if any of that matters anymore. I think what matters is that this, person who's your sister is back. And regardless of whose fault it is that everything went wrong or that her marriage didn't work or that she never reached back out again, it's like you got to just decide, like, is this something you want to entertain or not?
Yeah, maybe put up boundaries and say, hey, we're not going to be besties right now. But I like seeing your kids. That's something I want to do. But this is where I draw the line. This is my boundaries. I would like you to work on yourself, therapy, so you don't do this again whenever things get hard.
We had tea and snacks after that. And she asked me again if I wanted to do anything this weekend since she has the kids, or we could do something the weekend after, just the two of us. And I said, I don't know. She was okay with that answer. She was tearful again when I was leaving. We hugged, and I hugged the kids goodbye too. My mind has been a mess since then. I lashed out and everything, but also regret what I said. But then I also try to remember how I had felt back then and get angry again. It feels so weird knowing that she's now 20 minutes away from me and we can visit whenever. I told my girlfriend about all this and she said she supports me no matter what, but in her opinion, to consider the weekend plan with a cool mind. I do think that, it's important to just think about right now. If you think about how you felt back then yeah, you're going to feel like that. But you're not back then anymore. You are the you of today. And what the you of today wants doesn't necessarily need to be informed by the pain that we felt in the past. Not always. This got long, I apologize, but I've been trying to collect my own thoughts on this, and writing this just seemed to help. Thank you for the help. And there are some relevant comments here. Famous Rooster 27-1 says, I'm glad you and your sister talked. I'm late to the party, but I was in a similar boat recently. My sister is now married to a woman, so good luck, OP. That's a great moment to at least hear one another out. On what's happened, one another's view, that doesn't mean you're forced to do anything, but at least you have the ability to decide if this is something you could pursue. My sister came from a DV relationship, and so did I. The fact that we're both still alive and able to talk about our crappy parents is a huge support beam in my system. She is still recovering, and so am I, but we have one another, and she had her awesome wife. Just take some time off the internet and enjoy a day where you relax. Go out for a nice coffee and lunch, maybe to the park, all on your own, and just think. Allow yourself to cry in your car. Talk to yourself. A you day with self-care, or maybe a day and cuddled up inside with warm pillows. Creating, drawing, but I recommend getting out of the house and off the internet. Dopamine, media detox for a day, basically, and let yourself feel and think. OP responds, I'm going to try to clear my mind. Thanks. I've been thinking this again and again, that I should do what makes me happy. And maybe that is being able to reconnect with her and her kids. And then I think that's letting her off too easy. I was in pain back then trying to reach out. What about that? It's been emotionally taxing. Your advice about taking some time off is good. And that is the end of that story.
I think that's a great idea. I think taking time off to think about what you need, what you want is always good.
Yeah, can't deny that. But I think you should maybe bring that up to your sister, that it's like, I'm really mixed up because I want to, reconnect with you. But then I think back to how I felt when you just ghosted us. And I feel like, those like the two wolves inside me are fighting.
The
Like
wolves, they're howling.
they're howling. One's howling that you suck, and one's howling that maybe she doesn't suck. I miss my sister.
My fiance accused me of cheating with his brother after I went home with him.
Well, don't you know you're not supposed to even look at men? Duh.
Duh. To make this long story short, my fiance, 29 male, his brother, 24 male, and I, 25 female, were at a party with my fiance's side of the family. They can get pretty wild partying until literally the next day. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, I'm not used to these kinds of events, nor do I drink much, but I had a couple of drinks at the party around midnight. My head hurts, I was tired, and I felt dizzy, so I asked my fiance to take me home. He said soon, but 1 a.m. came around, and he was still dancing around with his cousins. My brother-in-law sat next to me and said he was heading home and asked if I wanted him to take me too. I said yes, and I texted my fiance telling him that I had left already. When I came home, I realized I didn't have the key because it was on the same keychain as the car keys, so I was unable to enter my home. I was frustrated and almost in tears because my head was hurting so badly. He then asked me if I wanted to crash at his place. I thought about it, but I didn't want to wait for my fiance to get home at probably 7 or 8 a.m., so I agreed. And we went to his place, which is about 20 minutes from us. He offered me his bed and went to sleep on the sofa. I fell asleep instantly and woke up around 11 a.m. I grabbed my phone and found 30 plus missed calls and about 100 messages from my fiance. I called him and he started asking me where I was and why I wasn't answering. He was yelling and panicking. I told him I was at my brother-in-law's house and he hung up without answering. I went to wake up my brother-in-law and not even 15 minutes later, my fiance was already there, yelling and accusing us of cheating. He realized I was wearing my brother-in-law's clothes and freaked out even more. I tried to explain that nothing happened because we don't have that kind of relationship, but he didn't believe us. Then he stormed off, but came back 5 minutes later, grabbed me, and took me home with him.
So there is no way this guy's not thinking about cheating if he is so quick to jump to that immediately.
Right? Right, guys? Right.
If he hasn't done it, he's at least thinking about it, because
Yeah.
to just immediately jump to that is pretty wild. I assume you have established some level of relationship or rapport with your brother-in-law
Yeah.
since you were married.
Yeah.
And
right?
like, it smells a little fishy.
It definitely does. He asked for my phone and I gave it to him. After not finding anything, he still thinks I have something with his brother. He told his entire family that he was cutting off his brother and won't talk to him ever again, but didn't explain why. He then said I need to work extra hard for him to forgive me and we need couples counseling, but only after I confess what we did. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
Yeah, like, why are we so insecure? Why? I mean, like, it would make more sense if there was, I don't know, like a context or like a prelude or like this is... maybe he's been just cheated on before and he's just like super triggered at the thought. But it's like, brother, you did it to yourself, kind of. You know?
Maybe
She
he
was
knows
like,
his brother cheats a lot.
Yeah, Emma Wilkins says maybe the brother-in-law is a cheater. That's honestly a good idea. That's the only reason I could think of for this reaction. Other than like, oh, he's just cheating. Like this man. Because that's just, I just don't like where that's going. Where like, you have to confess what you did. And only then will I even think about forgiving you. Only then can we work on a relationship once you confess. It's like, well, what if it just genuinely didn't happen?
how do I confess nothing?
Yeah. Literally nothing happened. I was just extremely tired and I have known him for 6 years. I decided to go along with him. I talked to my mom and she said I disrespected my relationship by going home with another man and I shouldn't be surprised if my fiance calls off our engagement.
It's his own brother.
His brother. I love my fiance very much, but I never saw him like this, and I don't know what to do. My mother-in-law calls me constantly asking if I know what happened and why he would treat his brother like this, and I don't know what to tell her. I was just too tired and my head was hurting me, so I went home. Now I don't even know if my relationship is salvageable. And there's an edit to clarify something. A lot of people are asking why I didn't tell my fiance face to face that I was leaving with my brother-in-law. That's because I knew he would have stopped me and told me he would take me home and keep me waiting. I know I didn't do everything the right way, but my head was hurting me and I was tipsy. As for the t-shirt, I thought sleeping in a crop top with no bra was way worse than asking for a t-shirt to cover myself. And why didn't I ask my brother-in-law to text his brother? It didn't even cross my mind at the time. Plus, my fiancé and I have that thing where you can check where the other one is. I don't know the name for it on Android. I mean, sharing
He
location.
literally has your location already.
Yeah. Edit number 2, I talked to my mother-in-law. I might update tomorrow. And we do have an update. But
Yeah. I would definitely tell your mother-in-law exactly what this is, because it's like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
is there some kind of history I need to know about? Like, what could this be? Because it's like, yeah, it's like you wanted to go, your head was hurting. He's like, yeah, sure. And then it's 1 a.m. and he's still like
Right.
not winding down at all. It's like, okay,
yeah.
you just didn't have the keys to the house and you ended up at it's not like it was your old like ex-boyfriend that you slept over at. It was his
Right.
brother.
It's literally his brother. And I mean, that's probably right. Like, if he would just keep saying like, oh yeah, no, I'll take you home. No, you don't need my brother to do it. I'll take you home. And then he just keeps partying. It's like, well, dude, like, my head hurts. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. Like, that doesn't seem like the wrong thing to do at all. She was saying like, oh, I know I didn't do the right thing, but no, you're fine. Everyone is making you think that you didn't do the right thing, but
Yeah.
there was nothing wrong about what you did. It's just how people are looking at it.
Yeah, and people being like, "Oh, the shirt is bad optics." I think the worst optics would be like sleeping in your, like she says, like crop top, no bra. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a t-shirt.
It's
It's your
t-shirt.
brother. I've known him for 6 years.
Yeah, it's like what I think anything would look bad. If it was the clothes she was wearing already, if it was no clothes, like it would just all be bad.
And it already looks bad on you that it's like your partner's like, "Yeah, I want to leave. Like I'm like in pain. Like my head's hurting." And then you're like, yeah. And then you just like disregard it completely and like keep doing whatever you want.
We do have an update. First of all, I checked my ex's phone. I know you're not supposed to do that, and people deserve privacy.
Wait, they're split.
Okay,
They are split.
totally
This is-
brushed past that.
The
Yeah.
engagement is off. It's over.
Okay?
Like I said, if he's immediately jumping to you definitely just cheated, then it's like that's what he's doing.
To some people, that might sound so like, well, why you need proof for that? But it's like, we've read so many stories where that is the case. And like, it's got to be just some sort of psychological thing then, you know? Where it's
Yeah.
like, if you are cheating, then now you're looking out for all of the reasons. And because maybe you're scared about being caught or something, or I don't even know. But there's got to be something there, because it's every single story that we read. That's not a coincidence. But to continue the update, checked my ex's phone. I know you're not supposed to do that, and people do deserve privacy, but a lot of people said that he was probably projecting. I waited until he fell asleep and I checked it. Long story short, he is cheating. Yep. And for about a month now. I don't know the girl, but from what I saw in the conversations, it seems like she is a coworker. I was shocked and a little sad, but somehow relieved, because at the end of the day, he was the one doing something wrong behind my back. The next morning around 5 a.m., he went to work, and I packed my essentials and went to my sister's house. I explained the situation, and she and her husband were more than happy to let me stay. My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, let's call him Lucas, told me that he could go with me later if I wanted to retrieve more of my things, and I said maybe. I went to my ex's mother-in-law's house just to talk more than anything. My brother-in-law, ex's brother, let's call him Frank, was also there. I don't know if mother-in-law called him or if it was just a coincidence. I told my mother-in-law everything that happened, including the cheating, which I had proof of because I took pictures of his phone with mine. She was horrified and started crying. Frank said he did text my ex. He showed us the texts, about 10 messages like, hey, I'll take her home because you're a heavy drinker. She didn't have a key, I'll take her to my place. And even a selfie where I passed out on the bed in the back saying, she's safe, come take her tomorrow. Okay, well, there we go. So this brother-in-law or ex-brother-in-law did reach out.
Yeah.
Everything was done right.
Which like makes perfect sense, because like why that's just
Yeah.
so he did that.
Yeah. That was weird, because when I checked my ex's phone, I didn't see any texts from Frank. He either deleted them or blocked his brother. Mother-in-law said she woke up around 6:30 to 7 a.m. and nobody was in her house anymore. Ex wasn't there partying till almost 9 a.m. when he started to call me. I had mixed feelings and cried a lot, but I didn't have any energy to ask my ex for answers. I sent him a text saying it was over, moved out, and blocked him. My dumb butt forgot to turn off share location, so he showed up at my sister's house crying and asking if I don't love him anymore.
Yeah, I probably don't.
Yeah,
I mean, or I do, but like that doesn't mean I'm gonna be with you.
yeah. Like, I don't know what you want.
Yeah, I'm in the process of breaking that down,
Yeah, exactly.
digesting it.
I plan on not loving you anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to disturb anyone, so I invited him in just because Lucas was home and I felt safe enough. He started babbling about love and stuff. I just told him that I knew about his affair. His face instantly changed and he stopped crying. That was scary. I never saw him like that. He said that that didn't mean anything and I was the only one who could be his wife. I said, no, thank you. He got very agitated towards me. Long story short, it turned into an altercation with Lucas. Lucas is in the military, so it was impressive because my ex is taller. He booted my ex out and told him that he wouldn't let him go easily next time if he tried something like that again. I cried a lot and probably had a panic or anxiety attack because I felt like I couldn't breathe. I don't remember much after that other than waking up in the middle of the night with my sister next to me. It felt safe and I fell asleep closer to her. And you are always safe listening to full episodes and stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever favorite podcast app you prefer. Just search OK Storytime and we'll be there. There is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, that sounds scary. Yeah, of course you'd have a panic attack or something because that's terrifying.
Yeah, we're just a freak man.
Freak man.
I hate like just people being confronted with their own stuff and then being like, no, this is everyone else. It's not me. It's you. Now I'm mad at you for knowing.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I'm just glad though that you are getting out of it though at this point.
Yeah.
When it's like starting to turn so dangerous, like clearly, you know, if it's dangerous at one point, like you probably never really were fully safe if he could turn like this. But like at least once he started to reveal himself as dangerous, that's like the time that you're dipping out of there. That's like perfect timing.
Yeah.
So that's great.
1000%.
There is a little bit more to the story. My sister and Lucas want me to make a police report because he got very violent. I don't know if they do anything because he didn't do anything directly to me, but Lucas said he would be my witness and go with me if needed. I called my ex's mother-in-law today again to tell her what happened. I really love her, but I don't think I can keep contact after what happened.
I agree.
Frank tried to call me a couple of times too, but I don't have the energy. My sister said she and Lucas are moving next year for work, and I should come with them to the new city. I think I'll do it because there's nothing else for me to do here. She's the only family I have left, so why would I stay far away from her? I think that's all. If you need more context or something, just tell me, and I'll clarify if I can. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, OP. My goodness. What a great Christmas gift to stay far away from this man.
Yes.
Lose this man.
Lose him and prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, because he's a little cuckoo in the brain, cuckoo in the buku.
Cuckoo in the
is.
boo-boo.
Cuckoo in the boo boo. Brian says brother swap. Frank seems like a solid guy.
No, get out of the. You gotta get away from the fam.
That's a good idea. That's definitely.
Get out
Can
of
you
there.
imagine how that would go down if she actually got with Frank afterwards, and then he'd be like, "Rah, I knew it." And it's like,
Yeah.
well, you still started it. I didn't cheat or anything.
That would not be a life of peace. And
It's
clearly, OP
absolutely not.
isn't interested in Frank.
Clearly. But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
My sister asked for a wedding favor last minute, but she refused to cover my flight.
First class only.
Jesus. I, 24 female, don't know where to begin. Recently, I started listening to these Am I the A-hole videos? My sister and her fiancé, 24 female, are planning a small Vegas wedding this October. She only first brought it up yesterday afternoon, so this is all very last minute. And last night, they told me nothing was concrete yet, but this morning it already escalated. By the way, this comes from OK Caterpillar 1172, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Vincent.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. For context, I'm a professional photographer. I've taken plenty of photos for my sister and her fiancé before for free, especially when I was starting out. But now this is my career. I normally charge $250 for a standard session, which is about the cost of a flight to Vegas, and $1,000 or more for weddings. When they mentioned the wedding, it was implied I'd be doing it for free and paying for all of my own travel and hotel. I haven't actually asked them to cover my flight yet, but when I asked if the date was at all flexible, since they had just said nothing was finalized, and I'll already be in Vegas a month later, her fiance called me a B and acted like I should have known for 8 years that this was their special date. I genuinely had no idea. On top of that, because it's during the week, I'd also have to miss classes to attend. It's not the end of the world, but it's another factor. I love my sister and her fiancé and want to support them, but it feels unfair to be expected to work for free, cover all my expenses, miss class, and then get insulted just for asking about flexibility. I haven't brought up covering the flight yet, but now I'm worried that if I do, it'll come across as selfish, even though the cost of the flight is the same as what I charge for a basic session, and I'd still be giving them way more than that in free photos. So would I be the a-hole if I asked them to cover at least my flight? Or is this just a family means just sacrifice type of situation? And how do I even approach this without making things worse? And edit, they are planning on having a bigger wedding in a few years with more family and friends, more traditional, etc. They're wanting to get married now for benefits like health insurance from my sister's job. And there is an update, but do you have any thoughts?
I think it's fair to say, hey, I'm going to photograph your guys' wedding for free. If you guys could help me out with the flight, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Even if it's like not the full flight, if you can get like $100, $150 to at least make it easier on you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be pretty upset that they wanted me to work at their wedding and not pay me.
That's true, but this kind of sounds like a very small,
Yeah.
like they're going to do a bigger one later.
Hopefully, OP doesn't have to shoot that one too.
Well, hopefully they're at a point later, if they can pay for a bigger
yeah,
venue,
pay.
they can pay you for that.
Update. Hi, everyone. This is an update to my original post about photographing my sister's last-minute Vegas wedding. A lot has happened since then, and I realized there was much more backstory and context that I didn't originally include. First, I want to clarify that the person causing all the major issues is not my sister, but my sister-in-law. My sister's now wife. She was the fiancé in my original post. My sister has her moments and plays a role, but the conflict and disrespect almost always comes directly from her wife. When I posted last, the wedding was still upcoming. I did end up going to Vegas, and I brought my boyfriend along. We honestly had a great time together. That part of the trip was actually wonderful. However, the wedding itself was extremely thrown together. They gave me barely any notice, never communicated what photos they wanted, never gave me a timeline, and didn't even tell me when or where anyone would be getting ready. There was absolutely no plan at all. It wasn't a situation where I was supposed to know the timeline. There literally wasn't one. We also weren't anywhere near each other while getting ready. Anyone familiar with the Venetian in Las Vegas knows how massive it is. I was staying on the Palazzo side, and my sister-in-law was staying in the Venetian Tower on the opposite end of the property. She never texted me or asked me to come take getting ready photos. There was no communication. Now she's furious that I didn't somehow show up automatically. She's acting like it was common sense for me to wander a giant hotel, hoping I would magically know to come into her room at the right time. After the wedding, I sent her a sneak peek of about 60 edited photos a week later because she requested them right away. When I sent them, she made me screen share the entire gallery for almost 2 hours while she nitpicked every photo, told me exactly which ones she wanted edited. Immediately, I did it just to keep the peace. Today at around 9 a.m., out of nowhere, she called me and completely erupted. She told me I need to give her all the photos right now, accused me of pretending to be a professional, and called me a C-word repeatedly. She said talking to me is like talking to a wall, and then hung up on me. There was no discussion, just straight yapping. For context, I charged her $300 for the wedding, even though my normal wedding rate is $1,500 or more. There was no contract, no timeline, no deadlines discussed. She knows I'm overloaded with school, an internship, my photography business, and my living situation. She also knows I'm barely holding on academically, close to failing classes, and I genuinely need to graduate in the spring because I need health insurance. My priorities right now genuinely need to be my schoolwork. Despite all of that, she expects her photos to come before everything else. Unfortunately, this kind of explosion from her isn't new. A few weeks after we got back from Vegas, we all went out for Halloween. Both of us were running behind because of separate family events earlier in the evening. On the way to her house, I accidentally got bronzer on my white tights while doing makeup in the car. When I got there, I asked if I could use a makeup wipe, and she told me to wait while she looked for micellar water. She then disappeared outside for nearly an hour to smoke devil's lettuce. Okay, so she said, I'm gonna go get micellar water, and then never comes back.
Yeah.
The makeup wipes were sitting on the bathroom counter, and she owns hundreds of them. So since she didn't return, I used one single wipe to get the stain off. Later in casual conversation, I mentioned how well it worked. She immediately flew into a rage, demanding to know why I touched her stuff without asking, calling me a witch and accusing me of violating her boundaries over one makeup wipe. I apologized and offered to buy more wipes, but she wouldn't stop. I made an offhand joke that I sounded like my younger sister for a second, and she snapped back, "No, you sound like your mother." I haven't spoken to my mother in almost 8 years. She knows all of this. There is no world where that comment was anything but deliberately cruel. I immediately went silent and locked myself in the bathroom until I could calm down. She has never apologized. This wasn't the first time she's used extremely personal, painful things as ammunition. And part of why everything she does hits so hard is because of something that happened earlier this year that I haven't fully explained until now. Back in March, I was about to move into an apartment I had signed a lease for, before realizing it was in a dangerous neighborhood. Broken windows, bad street activity, the works. The very next day, I found a house listed in my dream neighborhood. A small 2-bedroom home for $900 a month. Absolutely unheard of where I live. I viewed it, the landlord loved me, and he picked me out of other applicants. But I panicked because I thought I couldn't break my lease. I didn't know that was an option. So I immediately and stupidly called my sister-in-law and offered the house to them instead. They weren't even looking to move. They still had months left on their lease, and I had to convince them to even consider it. Within an hour of hanging up, I realized I had made a huge mistake. I was crying and panicking, realizing this was the one place I could afford and my only shot at living alone. I begged them for days, sobbing and pleading on the phone, explaining that I would have nowhere to go when my current place ended in 2 weeks. They ignored all of that and took the house anyway. They make over $100K a year combined. They could afford dozens of other options. I make a fraction of that. OP, you literally begged them to take it. You begged them to take it. This was the only house I could afford in that neighborhood. I did eventually break my original lease, but it didn't matter. The house was gone. They signed it and moved into it while I moved into a tiny bedroom at my grandma's house with a toddler she fosters. Every time I go to their house, I am reminded it should have been mine. And to make it sting worse, they used the second bedroom, the room that would have been my office, as a devil's lettuce smoking storage room. They never acknowledged how badly they hurt me, not once. I don't think you can be mad about this one.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest, I don't think that you can be mad about this one. I still don't really understand why you begged them to take it.
OP, like you moved because you made decisions based on not complete information and reactionary, and that came back to bite you in the butt, and now you have to sleep in the bed you made.
Yeah, in your grandma's house.
In your grandma's house with a toddler.
However, I'm begging you guys to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. All of that has been sitting in the background of every interaction I have with them. So when my sister-in-law calls me names, insults my work, mocks my trauma, or explodes over something trivial, it isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening on top of the most painful housing experience of my life, my financial struggles, my academic stress, and my general mental health issues. I have so little family as it is, my grandma, my dad, and my 2 sisters, so losing the relationship with my sister feels terrifying. But being treated like this is becoming unbearable. I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like my sister-in-law has zero respect for me at all. I feel like everything I do is in service to their convenience, not out of general care. And not out of genuine care. And now even the wedding photos, something I did out of love and for a fraction of my normal rate, have become another way for her to belittle and control me. I'm exhausted mentally, emotionally, and physically. I don't know if I should finish the photos and go low contact, confront her, talk to my sister privately, or just step away entirely. I don't want to blow up my family, but I also don't want to keep being the punching bag for someone who seems committed to hurting me. And that's the end of that story.
My sister's friend sabotaged my party planning, so I took control.
Don't mess with my parties.
My sister, 28 years old, is getting married next year, and it has been a complete whirlwind already. I love her fiancé, and he is truly God's gift for her. I could not even imagine a more loving and supportive partner for her. By the way, this comes from username specific anything 7583, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Vincent.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, but we don't got all the answers. We just know what we would do. OP says she couldn't decide who to make her maid of honor, so she picked 3 maid of honors. Yes, 3. Me, my sister, and her 40-year-old friend we'll get into this. It was difficult at first trying to figure out how to share duties, and then it became very clear that her 40-year-old friend was strong-arming my sister and I out of every turn. I've suspected her friend is a scammer or a self-absorbed person that's taking advantage of my sister. This quote-unquote friend booked my sister and her now fiancé travel through a travel agent who is the 40-year-old's best friend, and the cruise ended up being double the cost of the crappy accommodations and terrible food. I worked with my sister, bride-to-be, and we made a Google Doc with 15 plus B&Bs mapped out 4 to 5 different location possibilities, possible timelines, and possible attendees. We listed Cancun, Miami, New Orleans, Nashville, etc. She was so happy with our work that she asked me to be the spearhead of it. And I said yes. I sent a text to the Maid of Honor group chat, and all of a sudden her 40-year-old friend jumps in saying actually they already had plans since April to do a 1 day at Disney and stay in Orlando. I said, okay, if we stay in Miami, I would drive to Disney for 1 day and be the DD so we could take advantage of the beach, nightlife, and batch activities in Miami. Her 40-year-old friend said she didn't want to be in the car for over an hour, and the strong arming started up again. Excuse after excuse. She pushed us into Orlando, and my sister was agreeing with everything she said. I called my eldest sister and asked if she was going to let this happen and if she was okay with our sister having a lame bachelorette. My eldest sister said she was wiping her hands, and that's our sister's choice at the end of the day. I felt frustrated, rightly so, because I felt like the only one who could see that this woman was taking advantage of our sister. Weeks later, we're locked into Orlando, and guess what? The villa is through the same travel agent friend. She sends a text to the party group chat and tells them nothing of the location or timeline, but instead just demands everyone send $260 today, as we need to lock in the house. My sister and I send money to help. Then the original 10 girls start backing out one by one. Since then, the cost of the trip has gone up. Not just from people backing out, but apparently until the total cost is paid off, the total cost of the villa will fluctuate higher. Now we're down 5 girls, and my sister and I have had to invite a friend of our own to try to fill the spots. I told my sister this isn't worth progressing with the house that had 10 bedrooms for only 5 girls, and since the trip isn't until late April to May, we should back out. Turns out the contract the 40-year-old signed says that if we cancel even 90 days in advance, we may not receive a refund of our security deposit and may have to pay an additional 30 to 35% of the total package price on top of it. We could submit a claim, but we could be denied.
I'm sorry, wait, if you don't go, you not only have to pay the initial price, but also more? That's a full scam.
Yeah, full scam, and like 3 months ahead of time, too.
That's crazy. Scam.
I don't know if where I'm gonna be in 3 months.
I have no idea. I might not be there.
If you asked me where I was 3 months ago, if I'd be here, I'd be like, what?
Huh?
When we said we wanted to back out, the girl said we can't. She told us that she bought insurance originally, and when we asked if that would help, she said the insurance would only cover someone being sick. I read the contract and it's horrendous. Toilet paper, paper towels, etc. were not included. If we ask to downsize the villa, we will be charged as a cancellation and have to pay a new price anyway, plus an additional $100 per person. My parents are livid. They said if we can't back out, they'd pay. We had a meeting as a family with the woman, and it was very sketchy and sus. She kept pushing us to keep the house and tried to make it seem like my sister and I weren't doing anything to help plan. I came with receipts, and she seemed very shook. She was also surprised I knew legal language and called her out on locking us into a contract that she knew was this rigid. I said before we continue planning, we need to see if we can get out of this. Even if we forfeit just the deposit, it's worth backing out. She kept pushing, saying, okay, and what if we can't get it back? And I said we shouldn't focus on that until we have a definitive answer, because You said there's a possibility we could get out. She said she'd talk to her friend and would update us on if we could back out. A day later, we got a text from our sister saying that the 40-year-old called her friend and the claim was denied. My dad was certain she's getting a punt back or a percentage off of this and wants nothing to do with her after this, but I feel like too much has happened. I feel very defeated. I feel like I can't sit here and watch this car crash happen. Part of me wants to tell my sister she has to choose me over the 40-year-old and that only one of us can stay. I do worry she'd pick her old raisin friend over me, but I've reached the point where I can't take the stress of this.
Did you call her an old raisin friend?
Yes, that is a quote from OP. Her
Her
old
40-year-old friend is
raisin
old
friend.
raisin friend.
It's weird because she always comes in a red box.
She just loves Raisin Bran.
It's that. What's that? There's that brand with that little like raisin girl. On
There's
the,
a brand with a little raisin girl?
Well, it's like it's a red box, but now I'm imagining it's her.
Yeah.
Because it's like an old time. She has a bonnet on, but I'm now imagining it's just her, but like
She really
30
loves
years down
raisin.
the road.
Yeah. She's kind of old. She's gotten a little bit older now.
The raisin grift has
Yeah.
gone bad, so now she's having to resort to resort grifts.
Someone else, please buy my raisins.
I need my raisins. I tried covering them in chocolate, but people just call them raisinettes. I also feel intense guilt for how crappy her friend is making this. My mom thinks this woman is using it as a way to take over since she's the only single middle-aged person, and this is the closest she'll ever be to a wedding. Ugh. She's never planned a bachelorette before, whereas my sister and I have. Haha. By the way, one thing you don't have to plan is where you can find more full stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast purveyor and look up OK Storytime. There's more updates, but first, yeah, this is super shady.
Very shady indeed.
Yeah, and I would see if you can't talk to this friend's friend
Yeah.
without her being the middleman.
Yeah, because it seems like she just, the 40-year-old friend, is trying to like flip everything. I don't know. Can we get a lawyer involved?
Well, also, like, she's taking control by being the middleman
yeah.
and doing things without okaying with you guys. So
Yeah.
go over her head, take all her power away, and then move from there. I am frustrated and need any advice you can offer. Also, apologies for the ageism. I am just angry and I don't want this 40-year-old woman. Also, apologize for the ageism. I am just angry and don't see what this 40-year-old woman could have in common with my 28-year-old sister that she constantly infantilizes because of her autism. But we have some comments. Comment number 1. I've never heard of an accommodation insisting that you have to pay when you're canceled 4 months in advance. Maybe it happens, but that's ludicrous. We agree. Have you given her any more than $260? Don't give her any more money. If somebody wants to try and get more money out of you for a rental you aren't using, tell them they can take you to court. It's certainly not worth it to the property owner. It's more productive for them to just find another renter. If it were me, I would tell my sister I can no longer be your maid of honor. WTF. Who the F has 3 freaking maids of honor?
Yeah,
And then-
it's pretty strange.
That's really strange. Your sister needs to be more
Too many
decisive
cooks in the
there.
kitchen.
Too
That's
many
what I always
cooks?
say.
Too many cooks. You get the reference, you know.
I don't.
It's I'll show you after this. It's a
Thanks.
video. And then step back, I would advise my other sister to do the same because it sounds like the bride isn't likely to be talked into dumping the 40-year-old. OP. I know! My dad was so mad, he said, "Who did you get this contract from? The Corleones?" He's a Godfather fan. I don't think she'd drop her. She's convinced she's her best friend. I'm going to talk to her fiancé, but I think my eldest sister and I just need to stand our ground. Comment number 2. I think you and your mom and your dad need to sit down with your sister without her raisin friend and lay it out there. How she's using your sister for money, even if she's not getting any, or just a portion as a kickback, and that she doesn't have her best interests at heart, and that she's 40 and your sister is 28. You definitely should have stood your ground with her right from the start when you and the bride-to-be chose where to have a bachelorette party and when. She should have been shut down immediately and not allowed to try to sway your sister. I don't think you need to ask your sister to choose between you and the quote-unquote friend, but make it abundantly clear that you don't like or trust her, and that if your sister genuinely cares about what this woman has to offer, that you're also washing your hands of all of it, and her friend can handle all of the planning and can pay it all herself. That's a good one.
Yeah, make her pay for all of this money that she freaking wasted.
Yeah, if she's planning all this super expensive stuff, plan it with her money.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it seems like your sister won't get a bachelorette party, and it's just depressing for her. OP, I'm planning an Atlantic City bachelor party without the raisin because she's a big Gordon Ramsay fan, and we can go to the Hex Kitchen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where? That's where?
There's a bunch of them, but this one's in Atlantic City.
Cool.
Yeah, have some good food. My parents said they'd help cover. We definitely need a formal sit down because this trip is going to cost almost $1,600 to $2,000 per person for only 5 of us. It just doesn't make sense when the original budget was $800. We have a reply. That's actually insane. But the fact that you all put down that much money with someone you already don't trust is crazy too. OP, I said this from the jump and no one listened to me. We've only put in $261 each because I was suspicious. But I'm not giving her any more money.
Good. Nice.
Good, that's it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you've only maybe lost if you can hopefully get it back, but you've only given away $200.
Yeah.
I learned that my sister is adopted, and it made me feel a lot worse.
You're not my sister anymore. Sorry.
I am a 15 female, and I have an older sister, Lila, 17 female. Recently, I found out that Lila was adopted before I was born. My mother was considered infertile, so she and my father adopted Lila. I was a 1 in a million miracle baby that defied the odds. Throughout my life, they were pretty good parents. They loved us both, and they never treated Lila and me any differently. But then Lila discovered she was adopted, and no, they didn't tell either of us. After some initial "why didn't you tell me" and identity issues, Lila seemed fine. I don't know if she really was, but she acted normal. She was angry at them at first for keeping it a secret, but eventually cooled off. But for the past 4 months, my parents had been prioritizing Lila. They told me they assured Lila that blood didn't change family or make up for the fact that she was adopted from her. I think they felt guilty. I understood wanting to reassure Lila that blood or not, she was part of this family, but they were continuously favoring her for months. They missed my high school play, instead staying home and serving snacks to Lila and her friends during movie night. On my birthday, they got Lila a car for my birthday.
No.
That's crazy. If I was Lila, I'd feel so uncomfortable.
What?
I'd feel so uncomfortable.
They kept going on dates with her, serving her favorite meals, getting her little gifts, getting nothing for me, and missing out on my things because of her. I wasn't trying to sound spoiled, but I felt like in trying so hard to comfort Lila, they were neglecting me, and I didn't think Lila even wanted all of that. What 17-year-old wants to spend loads of time with their parents? It all came boiling out last Monday. There was traffic on my way home from school, so my parents and Lila were already eating dinner. They had gotten Chinese from Lila's favorite restaurant and were all eating when I walked in. I overheard Mom telling Lila, "We chose you for our family. I loved you even without birthing you, without hormones telling me to."
Uh-oh.
I feel like that's the most important thing of all. It felt like a dig. It made me wonder if my mom would love me less if she hadn't given birth to me. If it wasn't me she gave birth to, she wouldn't even know the difference. Would she just love that child because hormones told her to? I blew up. I ran into the room crying. I told my family, "I guess we're not really family, right? Since you didn't choose me." Then I ran into my room. My parents said they were sorry if I thought Lila was being prioritized, but they also said I should apologize to Lila because they were having an emotional discussion that I interrupted by barging in and yelling. They said I was old enough not to act spoiled, that I knew this was hard on Lila and I should be nicer. I was just done. Exhausted and fed up. I barely spoke to them since Monday. So am I the a-hole? I wanted to clarify one thing. When my parents got Lila a car for my 15th birthday, they said it was for both of us. But in my country and state, 15-year-olds can only drive with a learner's permit. They said they got me a car because it was my birthday and I was going to get a learner's permit. But I couldn't drive the car until I had one. Lila had a license and the car was a pickup truck, a style she had always wanted. So it was pretty clear it was Lila's car. Update time. I've been reading all your messages and thank you so much. I thought the vote would be more divided. Lila and I took a joyride. Reading my post, I think I was jealous and a little angry at her, which she didn't deserve, but we talked. She mentioned wanting to find her birth parents, which is how this whole mess started.
Oh, they're gonna go a little quest.
Now
In the
they're
car.
gonna take this car around town, around the country.
Oh, because Lila probably feels bad that she's the favorite and she wants to like not even be with these parents. She wants to find her bio parents, and then
Well,
OP wants the approval of her parents. Dude, this is so
and
like
then everyone's gonna be a happy family at
One
the end.
big
yeah,
happy
this is
family.
such a
One big happy
teenage
family.
movie. I love it.
I can see it. Start writing, everyone.
My parents flipped, taking her curiosity as an attack. Things are still rocky, but Lila is on my side. We're searching for her parents together. Some suggested showing this post to my parents. I think I'll show it to my grandmother or aunt at first and get their advice. I just want my parents back. Update 2. Things went down.
Oh, boy.
Lila confronted our parents.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
She blew up. They both cried.
Good.
She said she wasn't over them hiding her adoption and really let them have it. She said, "You're so scared of empty nest syndrome that you're gonna push 2 daughters away. I don't feel like part of the family with you favoring me and acting like I'm going to run away." Then she stormed off. Because of that, my dad gave me a real apology without buts. My mom hasn't exactly apologized, but we talked about the "we chose you, hormones didn't make us do it" thing. I'm going to send them this post. I'm not cutting them out. I'm still only 15, but I have an escape plan. They aren't toxic, just humans who made mistakes and are making more trying to fix it. I talked to my aunt and grandmother. They gave me advice. Winter break is coming up, so I'm staying with them for a week to let things cool off. When I told my parents, my dad seemed resigned while my mom cried. She said it felt like she was losing both her daughters. I suggested family therapy. It seemed well received. I'll update if they schedule an appointment. For now, I'm operating like I'm permanently moving out and seeing what happens. And we have an update 3. 2 years and 8 months later.
Oh my god, we went on the trip. We went on the
went on-
driving trip around the
They
country.
found birth parents.
They found the birth
Oh
parents.
my god. Okay,
OP
wait.
got adopted.
Do we think it's happy endings?
Probably not.
I don't know if anyone cares, but I reread my old post and wanted to update. In that post, I said my parents were kind of self-absorbed. Not true. That was just 15-year-old me going through teenage angst and starting an emo phase. Being self-centered sometimes is different from being a self-absorbed person. My experience isn't close to someone actually raised under that. It's late, but I'm sorry. Lila and I are good. Better now that she's away at college, and I realize I like spending time with her when I'm not forced to. We s-
Dude, this is how me and my brother actually got better. Is like we started driving together, having forced alone time together. Now
yeah,
we're
I feel like
friends.
a lot of siblings seem to get closer when one isn't just
Like,
constantly
leaves.
in the house too.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
We send memes and text, but rarely see each other. She reconnected with her bio family. My parents and I flew out to meet them. They were so nice. They gave her up because she had health complications that required surgeries that they couldn't afford. Since she was still a baby, they knew she'd likely be adopted and have a better life. We met her extended bio family too. Many cried seeing her walking and thanked my parents. Our families aren't close now, but it was nice. I stayed with my aunt for 2 weeks. She was kind but busy, so I was alone a lot. I started journaling, which helped my mental health. That was the wake-up call my parents needed. They looked for therapists, but it took months to find one covered by insurance. I moved back in, and it was good and bad. We argued because I was a kid, and they started designated one bonding spot for each of us.
What?
Mine-
Wait, what?
Oh wait, I think it's about to
We're about to
explain.
get it. Mine was a spa 30 minutes away with my dad and a dog park with my mom.
Huh?
We also adopted a dog.
Okay, great.
This
I was
is
like,
so
by the way, we have a
random.
dog. I think that's nice. I get it. I'm following. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys.
I'm following. It's just a little
Bonding
weird.
spots.
And then they're just gonna be
It's
like,
their parents. Don't make it weird, Riley.
No. I'm not making it weird. It's just like, can we figure out a different terminology?
I
What
feel
happened
like
to
that's
hangouts?
fine.
Was that what happened to? Hey,
Yeah,
we're gonna
'cause
go
it's
throw a baseball around.
Family bonding. That's what that is. Father-daughter time.
Yeah, why can't we call it
Father-
that?
You can.
and we have some top comments. Okay, Chicken 2600 says, in your original post, you mentioned maybe showing it to your parents. Did you ever do that? OP says, yes. I showed my aunt first and asked to stay with her. During winter break, I sent the post to my parents. That's when they started trying to get me to come home and looking for therapy. That is the end of that
Wow. Okay.
story. Wow.
Okay.
Well, we've got 2 great movies laid out.
Whitney Anderson says
And-
all dogs find their owners. Haha.
My sister hit a second life, and now everyone's cutting me off instead?
Well, it's because everyone else is in the secret life.
My sister, 56 female, left her marriage several months ago after it was exposed that she had been living a double life for the last 12 years. Apparently, during a troubled time in their marriage, she and my brother-in-law, 58 male, separated temporarily. My youngest niece and nephew are only 10 and 8 at this point. It seems she met someone else during this time. By the way, this comes from you, Historical Middle 26-2, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Vincent.
I'm Dakota.
And we are here to give good advice goofily. We don't got all the answers, but tell us what you would do in the comments. A divorce never happened, and my brother-in-law moved back in, and it all seemed well, except my sister suddenly got a job that required her to go 2 hours away eastward to work most of the week. She only came home weekends. Holidays were never celebrated on the actual days, and we always had to reschedule them for her work schedule. During this time, my mom and I spent a lot of time with my 3 nephews and 1 niece. We took them to and picked them up from school, went to games, and attended band performances. When my oldest nephew graduated high school, I agreed to skip the ceremony to watch the younger 2. We had a great time. I also house sat and pet sat for my sister on numerous occasions. I was never paid and was never thanked. Fast forward to this year, one night near my mom's birthday, my oldest nephew and his wife came over with their first baby, 1 month old. He is my parents' first grandchild. It was strange. My niece came over as well and did not even greet any of us. She just went straight back to where my nephew's wife was in the dining room and sat there whispering to each other. My mom was understandably upset by this. We had always been close, so to have her granddaughter ignore her was a shock. They did not stay long. After they all left, my sister showed up. She asked me to leave the room, as if it was not my house and I was not family. I was upset, as I was often by her, but that is a whole other story. I heard raised voices, and after she left, I was told the marriage was over. She had found someone else. What was a shock was that she had been living with the other side dude for 12 years, 2 hours away in a southern direction. She never had that job and had actually created a business on this side dude's farm. She had friends down there. She even changed her name. It was like she created a whole new life. It was discovered because she and her daughter-in-law were connected on several social media sites, and her sister was not very careful about concealing certain things about them. Her daughter-in-law confronted her, and she admitted it. My brother-in-law was understandably devastated. I know how hurt he feels, and I want to support him and my nephews and my niece. Unfortunately, my mom lost her head a bit. During a talk with my niece, my mom made some not-so-nice comments about my nephew's wife. I do not think my mom really understood or still understands what exactly happened to bring this all to light. Why she blamed my daughter-in-law, I do not know. Oh, she blamed the daughter-in-law.
Well, yeah, I would blame yourself more than anything. I would blame you for having the secret family.
I think the mom is angry at the daughter-in-law for exposing
Yeah.
the wife.
Be mad. Wait,
I like the grandmother.
oh, grandma. Grandma's down? Grandma is down with this?
No. So the mom, OP's sister, OP and the sister's mom, is mad at the daughter-in-law of the sister.
You know what? At this point, get a
Before-
third secret family, all right?
Yeah.
It's time.
I only know that the daughter-in-law was the one who brought it to light. Please understand that the daughter-in-law was always been a bit standoffish with us, we never really understood. As a close family, it felt strange to us. What my mom said is not important here. What matters is that my niece became so upset that she told my nephew and his wife about it. It all blew up from there. My oldest nephew, who had always been my mother's favorite, wrote her the most heartbreaking and utterly vile text, basically cutting her out of his family and their great-grandchild's life. By extension, he also cut out me and my father, even though we have never said or done anything.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we are just as stunned as you are.
I tried to talk to my nephew and begged him to talk, but he said something about my mother that I cannot repeat. I never told her because I do not want to break her heart further. To add to the destruction, my own former brother-in-law also wrote her a text telling her he was pulling back from us, not because he blamed us for anything, but because he wanted to get his head on straight. I'm trying to understand, but I have known him since I was 14 years old. My parents treated him like a son. My dad adored him. We want to support him through this. The relationship between my mom and niece has not been the same. My youngest nephew moved out to avoid all the drama and does not really talk to anyone. The only one who does is my middle nephew, who still lives with brother-in-law. He has been a rock, but I hate that so much has been placed on him. He says it is all okay, but I know it's not. Just 2 weeks ago, my father's birthday, I texted my nephews, niece, and brother-in-law to remind them and to ask them to please call him. The only one who responded was my niece. She came over to see him, but I cannot help but feel she would not have if I had not reminded her. It was radio silence from the rest of them. That was the thing that hurt the most. I now have so much hurt and resentment growing in me. For my sister, for my brother-in-law and his children, minus my middle nephew, especially my oldest nephew. I do not think our relationship can ever recover. I am trying. I have texted my brother-in-law a few times to try to get him to talk. I need him to understand how I feel because it seems I've been written off as unimportant. I do not talk to my sister. Our relationship was never good. My mom does, but that is her daughter. She's not going to abandon her. That is not to say she is on her side. She understands what my sister has done, the lying, the deception. My mom says that she does talk to my sister, that she does not know what to believe about anything that she says. My mom is very sick and disabled. Both my parents are elderly and practically immobile. I am their main caretaker. I do most everything for them. I don't know. Maybe it is because my mom maintains contact with my sister, but a parent should never cut off their child. By the way, you never have to cut us off because you can find more full episodes just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast purveyor and look up OK Storytime. I, on the other hand, do not have any contact, yet I still seem to be on the outside. What have I done? I do not understand. I never wanted this. I would not care or be this upset if I did not love them all so much. It hurts. I don't think they know that. We have been as hurt by what my sister has done just as much as they were. Perhaps not in the same way,
I don't know about
but in the...
I don't know about just as much.
It's pretty... They got hurt pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. They're probably up here. You might be down here, but they're up here.
Yeah, let's not make this about you, OP. But it seems they feel it is okay to hurt us because she hurt them. Does any of this make any sense? We have some comments. I don't think you get it. There are 4 real victims here. The brother-in-law, the nephew, the niece, and the daughter-in-law. Period. The rest is collateral damage due to perception of taking sides. By keeping her daughter in her life, she has alienated the rest of her family. That is her choice. She can't have the love of her daughter, who devastated her family and the family itself. She wants it all, and she can't have it all. Not going to happen. You and your father are guilty by association. You support your mother not cutting off the other daughter, so you have, for all practical purposes, chosen your mother's side in opposition to the real victims. I'm guessing your father just supports his wife, which puts him in the same camp as you, your mom, and your sister. You may want to be neutral, but your actions say otherwise. What you want is a ceasefire. You want everyone to pretend that something awful didn't happen and that sides don't need to be taken. That isn't going to happen. You all made your choices. Now you have to live with them, with the consequences. Yeah, inaction is a choice. Even if you don't be like, I'm taking your side. You need to make an active choice. Right
Yeah.
now, inaction's worse. All right, comment number 2. Why would you have any resentment towards your brother-in-law and his kids when your sister effed up their life by being a cheating, selfish mooch? Are you serious? Your family seems toxic as F. Comment number 3. You need to back off. The kids are going to side with the victim, their dad. Your mother is 100% wrong. Your sister is a deplorable human being. If she wanted a relationship with her grandchildren, maybe she should have considered that. Stop making excuses for your mother. I would cut contact with you as well. Your father is going to suffer because of your mother. That's just the truth. If there were a way for them to only see your dad, then they probably would. Leave your brother-in-law alone. He doesn't want to talk to you. All right, and that's the rest of that story.
Well, and there you have it.
Yeah, that comments made it pretty clear.
My family accused me of stealing my sister's money after I took her in.
Sounds like that might just be rent.
I got temporary guardianship of my little sister, and she is now living with me full time. I provide everything for her, including housing, school, food, transportation, and all daily needs. I will be getting full guardianship in 2 months. And by the way, this comes from user MadCandy12. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give a little good advice, goofily. We don't have all the answers. We just know what we do. So just tell us what you would do in the comments if you so choose. And OP says, my sister's dad passed away, and my mom and my sister receive Social Security money every month. My mom is refusing to give me my sister's portion and is instead giving it to my grandma. My grandma also won't give it to me and says I need to buy my sister things first, and then she will pay me back using the Social Security money only if I provide receipts. Even then, she will only reimburse me if she personally deems the purchase acceptable. So that sounds like if you have full guardianship over your sister, that sounds maybe illegal.
Yeah, it sounds like you legally get that money no matter what. I feel like we can call up the Social Security people.
Yeah, I think we need to look up some laws. If I buy something she does not approve of, she will not pay me back using my sister's SSA money. When I asked my grandma to just give me the full amount, she and my aunt said no because they want to keep it as an emergency fund that I will not be able to access. When I asked for access to those emergency funds, they said no because they think I will use the money for myself. My aunt is telling my grandma that I'm irresponsible and naive, and that I will use the money for myself instead of my sister if I'm given full access. My grandma and aunt also claim I cannot go through Social Security to have the money sent directly to me because it will decrease the amount my sister receives. They insist that going through them is the best way to manage the money without it being reduced. I think all of this is ridiculous. I have had my little sister living with me full time for over a month with zero help from anyone. No one even asks me how she's doing, not about her allergies, diet, school, friends, or anything else. Yeah, it sounds like bad parent.
It sounds like this is the reason that you have custody.
Yes, her mom got bad parent disease.
Yeah.
I'm the one who did all of the paperwork, went to court, got her therapy, tuck her in at night. I make her practice her timetables and handling everything alone, including financially. I have spent a little over $1,000 setting up her room and getting everything she needs because I had to start from scratch. Now that money is involved, everyone suddenly feels the need to be involved. My grandma did reimburse me using the money for most of what I bought after I gave her receipts, but she excluded $300 because I left that receipt at my apartment. She does not believe me that the money was spent on my sister and insists she needs proof. It's honestly so insulting because I've never done anything to show that I'm financially selfish or malicious. I'm 23 years old and just got guardianship of a little kid. What part of that is selfish? I'm giving up my 20s to take care of a kid who's not even mine. I'm responsible enough to take her to doctors and dentists, enroll her in school and sports, treat her infections, maintain a bedtime routine, and follow a specific diet because she's at risk for diabetes, but I'm supposedly too irresponsible to make financial decisions. I don't think that's the case. I think they're keeping that money.
Yeah, they just want the money.
Money make people weird. People want money.
They're lying to you. They just want money. And you're doing so well, though.
If I'm so irresponsible and selfish, then why do I have guardianship of her? Why didn't my grandma or aunt try to get guardianship instead? It's because they don't want to take care of a little kid. They just want to control what I do with her. I also do everything for everyone in this family, but that's a different story. So am I overreacting for being upset about this? Should I just go along with it, give the receipts, and get paid back? Should I try to get the money sent directly to me since I'm the one caring for her? I honestly do not know. And there are some comments. But yeah, I think look exactly into the laws and stuff. If it is true that she gets less money somehow if it's sent directly to you.
I feel like that's a lie.
Yeah, that sounds a little too convenient.
Yeah.
Comment 1. Why do they think you're going to take her money and use it for yourself? Do you have a good job? Are you in financial distress? Is it a ridiculous thought, or is there a reason they might believe it? OP says, I have a very well-paying job. I currently have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment I pay for by myself. I got pneumonia and broke my leg. Well, that's a bad combo. So I couldn't work for like 4 months. So I'm in a little bit of credit card debt, but I'm paying it off and all my cards are 0% APR. They're saying I'm going to use my sister's money to pay it off for myself. That thought never even came to mind. I would never do that. I don't know why they would think so little of me. OP, it's because that's what they would do.
Right. Because they would be that petty to use it.
They think that you would do it because it's exactly what they want to do. I've never done anything like that before, and there is an update. My grandma, my aunt, and I all talked today. They said the money my sister gets as survivor benefits from Social Security isn't my business. I told them it is my business, so I know how much money I can spend on my kid. When I said my kid, my aunt yelled at me and said my sister is not my child and that I only have her until my mom gets her life together. She said my mom is trying to improve and that once she does, I will have to give my sister back. They told me they'll receive the money from my mom and that they're not going to tell me when they get it, how much it is, or how much is left because it is not my business. They said I have to get any purchase pre-approved if I want to buy my sister anything. They can deny anything I ask for, and they will not reimburse me unless I provide a receipt and they decide the item and price are worth it. I asked why I cannot just receive the total amount since I'm the one taking care of her, and they said it is because I am financially irresponsible. When I asked what made them think that, they said it was because I bought my sister a $50 water bottle and new clothes when she already had water bottles and clothes at my grandma's house.
Yeah, is grandma going to give her those clothes? Because she's not giving her anything else.
Yeah. OP elaborates, my grandma's house is full of mold, and the clothes my mom got her are ugly, too small, absurdly too big, moldy, or have holes. The water bottles were moldy as well. In the month I've had my sister, I've spent about $1,000 on her, which includes food and everything needed to start from scratch. This includes a comforter, pillows, sheets, special shoes for her wide feet, binders, notebooks, a backpack, folders for school, bath towels, a shower curtain, and a bath mat. Kids need a lot of stuff. I explained all of this, and they did not care. And by the way, you should care that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit more story left here. Full-blown figuring out exactly how much leverage you have legally.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you to just like come at them with the forces of the Social Security Department.
Yes, the force of the law. But you got to do your research. Be tactical.
Yeah.
Tactical research.
And I really hope that the law is made to be on your side. Because
Yes.
that would be ridiculous if it's not.
Yes,
But that
please.
also, unfortunately, is the way it happens sometimes.
Yeah. They told me that was too much money and said I'm buying things I want, not things she needs. I told them I was insulted that they thought that of me. And they said, well, it's true, so you can't be upset about it. They also told me that the money is actually my mom's, not my sister's, which is not true. It's both of them. They claimed my sister is only entitled to 30 to 40% of it, and that if I got to Social Security, the amount will be reduced to that percentage. I don't know where they got those numbers for the Social Security money. My grandma and aunt said how generous my mom is for giving me any of the money at all because it's supposedly her money and she's not required to give my sister any of
Okay,
it.
then use it and take care of your kid.
I can't imagine the brain rot, the amount of mold in your brain you would need to think that that is like like I got you. I just owned you. It's like, yeah, your mom actually really, you should be grateful because your mother doesn't need to give any of this money to her daughter. Most of this conversation involved yelling and constant interruptions. Should I just stay quiet and go along with this arrangement? Am I overreacting for being insulted? Did I actually go overboard setting her up to live with me? Should I just be grateful that my mom is giving us any money at all? And that is the end of that story. No, I think you're not overreacting. I think you need to figure out exactly how much money she does get from Social Security and get it given to you, seeing as you have legal guardianship over her now. I don't think it was too far to take her out of the mold pit that she was living in. And $1,000 for like new bedroom setup, new clothes, new necessities seems like a perfectly reasonable amount of money for a child.
My sister drained me financially, and she still wanted more.
More, give me more.
For background, I am the oldest of 3 girls, and I have always felt like I had to take on a lot in my family, especially financially. Growing up, I never really made my sisters pay for anything and covered most things when we were out and about. By the way, this comes from Significant Salt 703. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I have played Uber driver essentially my whole life, spending hours moving them into college, driving them to and from places, covering rent deposits even when I was still in school, paying my own rent, and doing things that generally my parents should have done. From a young age, it felt like this responsibility naturally fell on me, and I accepted it without much question. Fast forward to now, we are all adults in our 20s. I have essentially stopped covering things for my middle sister because she has a full-time job and a master's degree. She gets upset when I do not cover her expenses and nags me for staying with my parents and using them despite how much money I make. I do make about twice her salary, but I have over $160K worth of school loans, and my parents are doing me a huge favor by letting me stay home while I pay them off. Aside from living at home, I'm pretty much financially independent. I should also mention that she also stays at home for the same reason.
So we're like twins.
Everything came to a head when I called her out for her crappy behavior after she got mad at me for asking for a ride from the airport. This was even though, just a few days prior, she had me drop her off at some random party. She acted as if she had done me some huge, elaborate favor that I didn't appreciate her, when I felt like she could have simply said no if she didn't want to help. Not to mention, I do these things for her constantly without complaining or asking for anything in return. The double standard really started to hit me in that moment. We also got into a huge fight about her wanting to use a purse she gave me over 5 years ago for her first day of work, which she never told me about beforehand. She assumed that I knew every detail about her life and was upset that I didn't congratulate her on her new job. Yet she was also mad that my mom told me about it, indicating she never wanted me to know at all. I would have given her the purse back to borrow if she had asked nicely, but instead she came to my face cussing me out and calling me fat, ugly, and selfish for not letting her use it. She even said she never meant to give it to me in the first place, despite it being over half a decade ago.
That's a long time to hold on to such like a petty beef.
Yeah. I was eventually guilted into giving it back, but she continued to blast my very personal life to my family, which crossed a major line for me. She has a foul mouth, and I have warned her before to be more mindful of how she uses her words because they can have consequences. That all happened about 5 months ago, and I've cut her off since, including blocking her on everything. Truthfully, I've never been happier. Staying at home does make things awkward at times, But I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders from not having to be around her constant complaining, nagging, verbal mistreatment, and endless need for favors despite being completely capable herself. I genuinely feel happier in many ways. The peace has been noticeable. Recently, I heard her freaking out about someone eating her snacks and immediately pointing fingers at me. She spent $3 on random chocolates and accused me of eating them, which I definitely did not, which I honestly cannot believe how petty and obnoxious this behavior feels. I proceeded to remove her access from my Amazon account, and she sent me a long paragraph, which my other sister showed me, saying that I was pathetic and had nothing better to do in my free time than make things difficult for her. Mind you, this is my account that I pay for, but allow my entire family to use. I never addressed her message. My sister and I grew up incredibly close, but in the past year, she has changed so much. She is far more verbally aggressive and cusses people out when things do not go her way. She is a few years younger than me, so I understand there may be immaturity involved, but it feels like she has regressed rather than grown. Either that, or her true colors are finally showing. She has also displayed multiple behaviors that make me feel like she is resentful of my success, such as sabotaging my grad gifts by threatening to throw them out and expecting me to continually pay for her just because I make more money. I will say she occasionally gets me a pastry here and there, but it does not even come close to what I have done for her over the years. On top of that, she tracks every nice deed she does and is extremely transactional about it.
Yeah, that's tracking every nice thing you do means that you're not doing nice things. You're
Right.
doing things with the expectation that you'll get something out of it.
Right. You
She's
want
not doing a nice thing.
It's a little weird. Meanwhile, I never asked for anything in return, which I recognize is partly my fault because I have bad boundaries. I'm now trying to set those boundaries and am receiving insane backlash from my entire family. I keep hearing, "She's your sister, how could you treat her like that?" Yet no one asks. I am her sister too, so how could she treat me like that? I also realize that a lot of this may sound like small, petty stuff. However, I do not have these issues with my youngest sister, whom I also treat similarly to my middle sister. My youngest sister is simply more self-aware, appreciative, and self-sufficient. I think deep down, part of my hurt comes from the fact that I never really had the cushion of an older sister myself and had to be independent my entire life. Now my middle sister is refusing to come to Thanksgiving dinner if I show up, meaning that I have to decide whether to attend or get blamed forever for her absence. I am just tired of her. But by the way, I'll never be tired of you guys going and listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's just a little bit more. Your sister kind of sucks.
Middle child be middle childing.
It's always the middle children.
Yeah, I think maybe just like make a itemized list of everything you've done for her and be like, you can just pay this back to me over time.
Yeah,
If you
hey,
want.
remember when I paid for your college? Do you want more college debt? I do not see myself making up with her anytime soon. I cannot subject myself to the behavior I was dealing with anymore, especially now that I have additional real-life stressors like my career as a provider in the ICU. I feel pressured by my family to reconcile, but I do not think they understand, including my sister herself, the magnitude of her actions and how deeply they affected me. I have to prioritize my own happiness, and I cannot keep doing this sacrificial stuff because it completely drains me. I think moving out would help, but it is not financially responsible right now. Bottom line, I cut my sister off. My family thinks I'm a knucklehead for it because I'm the oldest daughter, but I feel much happier without her in my life and do not see reconciliation happening anytime soon. Am I the a-hole?
It really doesn't feel like you are.
It really feels just like, hey, can your parents, like, I don't know, do something?
Yeah, can we get a little intermediary going here with
Can we
the
get a little
parental units,
parenting?
perhaps?
Considering you've been parenting them your whole life, maybe they could start.
it would be nice if you had a little bit of a backup instead of everyone. They're mad at you because it's like, well, now it's like if you show up, there's strife, but it's like there's two sides.
Right.
There's two sides to the strife.
Yeah. Do you ever think that maybe she's causing the strife, people?
My sister-in-law thinks everything I do is wrong, and I don't know what to do.
Maybe do something right.
He has a point. I am very lost and have never been in this situation before. Hopefully someone on here has had a similar experience and can lend some guidance. 2 years ago, I began to notice my sister-in-law, who is now 38 female, seemed to be getting quieter and quieter around my family. I am 35 female now. She married my brother, who is now 40 male, about 8 years ago, and they have had 4 adorable kids together. By the way, this comes from Twak16. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but obviously we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments below. As OP says, they are a super sweet family. My brother adores his wife. She loves him very much. And overall, we all get along really well. She is a nurse, super smart, kind, funny, and has one of those infectious laughs. I was thrilled when they got married. I really look up to her. It was bothering me that she seemed to be going through something. She was not joining in on our conversations anymore. For the past almost 2 years, she has been coming over on Sundays, not always in a row, but sometimes every other or every few weeks. But when she is over, she just sits in a corner and does not seem to want to be around us, and she ignores all of us. I have a sister, 37 female, and her husband, 41 male. They have 2 kids. My parents are still together, both 62. We do not have a big family, so it is noticeable when someone is not engaged or present. I spoke with my parents, and we agreed maybe we were unintentionally being cliquey. So we agreed to make more of an effort talking with her when she is over. We tried to make her feel noticed, special, and gave her extra attention. We tried that for a while, and nothing changed. We got 1-word responses and nothing back for months.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
It's like, there are some people that are shy and stuff and just not until they're comfortable around people.
Yeah.
But
she's been around for years.
Yeah, she's been around for years. And also, if I were her partner, I'd be pretty upset that my partner is not engaging with my family.
Yeah. That's like a big thing for me. You gotta like my family in order to be with me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Family's everything.
Mm-hmm.
We
Agreed.
became frustrated and hoped she would just snap out of it. Nothing changed, of course, and it seemed to get worse. I spoke again with my parents about it, about how this was not okay. I want her to be happy and feel comfortable and be a part of this family. She is my sister now. I live an hour away from them all, and they all live about a 10-minute drive apart from each other. My mom said she would talk to my brother to see if there was something personal going on or if we had done something to offend her. She was able to get him alone, and he said yes, there was something wrong. It was me. She does not like me. When I'm around, she dislikes me so much that she would rather sit in a corner and not talk to anyone. I was completely stunned. I asked my sister if my sister-in-law acted different when I was not able to make it on Sundays, and she said that now that she thought of it, yes.
She's like, now that you mention it,
Yeah,
she loves her. She's a chatterbox.
Yeah, she's just the center of attention without you.
God.
My sister-in-law is much more open, talkative, and her usual happy self. She had never noticed that before. I have been feeling so hurt and surprised. I have not said or done anything to or about my sister-in-law. I love her, and I think she is wonderful. This completely caught me off guard. My mom asked my brother why his wife feels this way. Did not want to say much, but he did say a couple of things. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
She does not like that I got a divorce. Okay, well,
It's not really up to you,
yeah,
bud.
that's not your problem. You can have an opinion, but
Yeah.
I don't like you because you got divorced.
Yeah.
She felt my ex-husband was good for me and that I should not have divorced him and that I have commitment issues.
Okay.
Can't wait to get the backstory of this marriage.
Okay.
She never asked me, but my ex-husband was manipulative, awful, and I was not happy. Divorce was an extremely difficult decision to make and to go through. She says sometimes people just do not get along, and I guess she just does not like me.
Yeah,
because-
sometimes people don't like each other, but you still have to be nice. Still have to be respectful.
Yeah. And
Especially
also
when
like
this is your-
during like a family event,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like be present, be
No.
active. Like, you know.
I don't know. I'm personally an advocate of like just be respectful to everyone, regardless of like you don't have to like everyone. I don't like everyone.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
I don't
people
know,
I really don't like.
I don't like a lot.
It's true. Savannah tells me all the time about the people that she doesn't like. she's very vocal about it. But to those people, she's nice.
Stop. My New Year's resolution is to not be a pushover anymore. I'm growing a backbone, guys. Give me a second.
Just give
It's
her a
not even the
moment.
New Year yet.
It
I
takes
still
a
have
minute
time.
to grow. We have to water it.
To water it. She thinks I am selfish and does not understand mental health. I was traumatized when I was a teenager and more, and I have been on and off in therapy since I was 25 for the aftermath. I do not talk about it with my family, but my mom and sister know about it all. Maybe they said something to her. I keep trying to replay any conversation we have had in the past, which is very few, to see if there was anything I could have done or said to upset her or make her dislike me. We have a lot in common. He works a lot of nights, so I see my brother and his kids more often. When we talk about TV shows, movies, countries to travel to, or that we have been to, favorite colors, music, and more, my sister-in-law and I like all the same things. We seem to have the same sense of humor as well, and like the same board games. That's a big one.
Well, if you like the same board games, well,
Camel up.
Camel up. I
You're-
love
we're
Camel
in.
Up.
We both do not drink booze either.
I love that OP's
Wow.
like bringing up the most superficial reasons, and she's like, "Why doesn't she like me?
We like the same board games. What could possibly
We
be
both
wrong?
like Monopoly, and we don't drink.
We're both
We should
sober
be best
Sallys.
friends." That's like kindergarten rules. That's
Yeah.
like this is why you become friends with someone in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like to play with dolls? Friends? Let's be
too.
best friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that anymore, OP.
I do remember when they first were dating and engaged, we all went camping to the same campground we have been going to since we were kids. I was staying on my parents' campsite as they were. I went up a day early with my parents. I set up their tent, helped my parents with their trailer, and then they asked if I could set up my brother and his fiance's tent. I said, sure. I set up their tent by myself and blew up their air mattress and helped my dad with their tarp. They were arriving the next day, so it would make their arrival nicer. I had to leave earlier than everyone else because I was going back to work sooner. When the day came for me to leave, my parents told me not to worry about taking down my tent, that they would do it later. I said, okay, thank you. When they got back home from camping, I helped them unpack and they set up my tent in their front yard to clean it out. My mom was on the phone and upset. All I remember from that was something about my sister-in-law complaining to my brother that I was lazy and selfish for not taking down my own tent. My mom snapped at her. My mom never snaps at anyone, so she must have been really mad. She told her that they had asked me to leave my tent up and that I had set up their tent by myself. I had not told them because it did not matter to me who set it up. She never apologized to me, just to my mom, I think. The only other situation I can think of is when it was my grandpa's birthday party and they were taking generational photos.
Cool.
They asked me to take the pictures. I am not a photographer by any means. I took a few and asked my brother to come take a look because the screen was dark.
So, OP, that's when you turn up the brightness. Where we
The
start.
lens cap is still
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
actually.
She's like, I can't see anything. Is that normal?
It's dark, but it comes out later, right?
Yeah. We're just like developing these, right? He's
Yeah,
like,
they-
no. So this is a digital
They
camera.
develop in real time.
Yeah.
He said the pictures were fine and that he could fix them later.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't fine
Yeah.
then. These are fine, I'll fix them.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
My brother had previously said his wife felt I was not very interested in their kids. So I made sure to play more with them and hold their baby more often. I do love my nephews very much. I am just not good with kids. My mom passed me their newest baby, and after a little bit, he began to cry. My sister-in-law was talking with my aunt and said, "You can give him here." I smiled and replied, "I'm okay. Maybe he just needs a new position." And I held him differently. He was okay for a minute. Then he
Rotate 'em.
cried again.
1 second. Just
Maybe you just need to. Your head goes here.
That's me
so-
holding donut. Maybe she just needs. Maybe she just needs.
It's true. Just needs to be in a different position. He's good.
Uh,
Then cried again. My sister-in-law said he might be hungry.
And I said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Here you go." And passed her my little nephew. A few days after that, I got a call from my brother saying his wife was very
Oh
upset
my gosh.
and that I was being selfish and hogging the baby. And then I completely ruined all the photos.
You can't win.
Well, yeah.
A girl
what?
can't win.
I just
I'd be
don't-
like, you know what? Invoice me all your complaints. Just send me an invoice. Wait until the month's over. I don't want all of the complaints separately. Just clump them together.
Yeah, like, I don't really get it. That I should have told them the pictures were dark. I explained how I did ask him about the photos and that I would call my sister-in-law to apologize about my nephew. I called her 20 minutes later and said how sorry I was, that I did not mean to hog the baby, that I wanted her to see that I do care about my nephews and that I had spoken to my brother about the photos. She said, "Nothing is wrong, nothing to be sorry for."
This is so confusing.
I was very confused. I kept apologizing anyway, and then we said goodbye. By the way, we'll never say goodbye to you because you can listen to episodes just like this, full episodes. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. All right, what are we thinking? This girl sounds like a freaking nightmare, and I want to slap her silly.
Honestly, I think OP, you need to stop apologizing for all these things because it's not fixing it. I think you just say to your brother, "Hey, it seems like your wife has an overarching problem with me and is nitpicking kind of everything I do. And if we need to figure that out, I'd be glad to. But this is getting a little ridiculous."
Yeah. It just seems like she's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
she's one of those people that's impossible to please, like, no matter
Yeah.
what you do. Like, you can bow down to them. You can kiss the ground they walk on, and they'll
And
be
she'd
like,
be like, "Well, you
"Mm."
kissed it wrong.
Yeah, she'll be like, "Too much spit. You missed a spot.
You missed a spot.
I wanted you to lick that, but you just kissed it. No. Wrong.
Send it back."
Wrong. Send it back. Wrong." Here we are today. I do not know if I should speak to my brother about the things he said to my mom to get more background and details on why she dislikes me so much, or if I should speak directly with her to see if there is some common ground we can come to. My family cannot keep having her sit in the corner silently. We are a close and loving family. We like to sit around, laugh, talk, and play games together. It does not feel right when she is not involved. I own property in not Savannah. I could move there.
It's true. It's not
Yeah.
Savannah.
Yeah, so you can own property
Yeah.
wherever you want, just not there. I could move there and be out of the way so they can all be happy together. Oh, OP. That's
OP,
sad.
don't change your life to please this one woman who is not pleasable.
Yeah. And when I come back to visit, I could make sure she is not there. A part of me wants to let it go. Another part of me wants to stand up for myself. I get angry with how she's treating me and my family when I have not done anything to her to deserve this silent treatment. Then I also get sad. Any thoughts?
Yeah, you need to stop apologizing to her. And if she gets mad, you just ignore her.
Yeah.
You treat her like you treat a child who's having a tantrum. You don't give them attention.
I feel like you will, like, eventually there's going to be, like, a point, like, a blow-up point that is
Yeah.
going to be, like, oh, like, she's going to, like, get mad at something, and it's just going to be the breaking point of, like, okay, like, come
I'm
on,
done.
you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, I think, yeah.
Yeah. But don't change your life to, fix her
Yeah.
tantrums because she's never going to be happy.
Yeah.
But that's the end of that story. My dad chose a new family, and now everyone says I owe him closure.
Daddy, see ya.
This is mostly about my dad, Tom, who I'll be calling Tom throughout the post because IRL, I use his first name and have for several years now. By the way, this comes from Hands.
What about?
Hands.
Are you
Like-
serious?
Like, hands?
Hey,
Like hands? Like
hands.
Like jazz hands?
And
Or just
hands.
like Tom hands?
And if
Who
you
is
want to
that
submit your own
man?
stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And Dopey says, Tom married my late mom, and when she was already passed, he married her.
Late mom.
And they had my late sister, who was 21, female, when she passed away. Wow. I'm so sorry. It's very early. Together, and then Tom enlisted in the military. I-24 male was born 3 years later. Tom wasn't around very much when me and my sister were growing up. If we saw him for an entire week out of the year, that was a lot. When he wasn't overseas, he would travel around with his military buddies or visit different family members throughout the States. It felt very much like he came home to rest and sleep and not be with his wife and kids. He was never with us for Christmas, for any of our birthdays, for any Father's Day, or for any holiday. He also didn't call very often, and my sister and I used to discuss whether Tom was sleeping around when he was gone. We thought it was very likely, seeing as he was gone for so much of the time. Even Tom's own parents were disgusted with his lack of involvement in the family, and they refused to see him when he would try to visit. They would send him our way, but he'd just go to his siblings' places or his favorite aunt's place. He was given a desk job when I was 13 or 14, but he still wasn't around very much. We saw him a little more, but mostly he slept at work and trained with some of his buddies, hoping he could be shipped out again. That didn't happen. Then, when I was 16, he spent more time at home, but he wasn't engaged in the family at all. It took my sister and me ignoring his birthday the year before my sister and mom passed away for him to be like, what the heck? He spent months trying to get my sister to talk to him and saying he wanted to fix the relationship. At this time, he was still mostly ignoring me. 3 times before she passed away, she told him to go F himself and told Tom he was Tom and not our dad. You're Tom. You're not dad, you're Tom.
Who is that?
That's Tom Hands.
Tall hands?
She told him mom had worked while he was away, so he wasn't the sole provider, and yet mom could make time for her kids, unlike him. The day she and mom passed away, my sister told Tom she would never forgive him or want a relationship with him and that she hated him. She said it would have been easier for all of us if he had passed away overseas instead of coming home. Oof. Because then we wouldn't have dealt with so many years of him not caring. 3 hours after that, my sister and mom passed away. How? At the same day?
Oh, it was probably like an
happened?
accident
Oh.
of some sort.
I wasn't living at home when they passed, and I took charge of the funerals and everything. Tom tried to once or twice, but he was shamed into staying out of things by me, by his parents, and by some of his siblings who welcomed him into their home when he was avoiding his family. A year after my mom and sister passed away, Tom got remarried. I was invited but didn't go, and I didn't stay in touch with him throughout that period or after. I knew from some of his family that he and his wife had kids together, and that he is a whole other family. About a year ago, he started to remember I exist, and he contacted me through social media.
Wait.
He's like, oh,
He's like, wait,
like I'm forgetting something.
who's that? Who's that person?
Who was that? Oh my
It's on
God!
the tip of my
OP.
tongue. It's on the... I have a daughter.
I have a daughter.
He probably went.
His wife's like,
"Whoops."
sorry. She's like, I have a daughter.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh, say,
Tom. No, that's me.
Tama?
Toenail.
Toenail?
Toenail?
That can't be right.
No.
That can't be right. I wouldn't name her Toenail.
Tomato.
Maybe you come with me, and then
Hey,
you introduce
you.
yourself, and then she'll have to say her name.
And then and then it'll be, hi, I'm. Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Knew it.
my daughter.
Knew it.
I'll
Nailed it.
introduce her as my daughter, and then you ask her name.
This is my daughter. Name, insert name here.
This is my daughter. We have this fun thing where we don't remember each other's names.
Fun game. Yeah, we played this game a lot. It's very fun. She's really good at it.
She's so good at
She
it.
calls me Tom.
She calls me.
even though
I
that's my
hate
name.
you.
That's my name, but you know.
I told him it was too late and that he needed to focus on his second chance family and leave me alone. He told me he didn't want to carry the guilt of losing 2 of his children in being hated by them in our or his final moments. I told him he didn't have a choice in that anymore. And the time to avoid that was when we were kids and wanted and needed our father around.
Also, OP is a man,
Oh, a piece of man.
which made it even funnier. Tom's like, I have a daughter.
Tom.
He's like, I've
Jr..
been a son. I've been your son the whole time. He's like, right.
This is my daughter's son.
My daughter's the one who
Tom.
passed away. My son, Tom. That's your name, Dad.
Tim?
You can also be Tom
you
if
could
you
be
like.
Tom. You could be Tom Jr.
You want to be Tom?
I'm
too?
not, Dad.
We're all Tom. This is my fiance,
Tom.
Tom.
He has messaged me several times, but I ignore them and don't engage back. Most are left unread, even. His wife contacted me through social media recently as well, or I'm assuming it's her, but I'm not 100% positive. She, again, assuming it's her, told me that he carries around the guilt of my sister and that he doesn't deserve to carry it around with me, too. She said I should forgive on both of our behalves so it can be lifted of his guilt. She said their kids deserve to know their older brother, too, and to hear about their older sister, and that I'm the only living person who can share all that. After that, he messaged me again and begged me to come meet his family and try to join them and repair things with him. He told me it would be all he would ever ask of me.
Why
By the
isn't
way-
he actually asking?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, his wife's asking.
yeah, what? Who
By
she
the-
doesn't know.
by the
He
way-
doesn't. Sorry.
By the way, the only thing I'm ever going to ask of you guys is to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. It seems like your dad stole his wife's phone for a second, messaged you on his Instagram, and then texted you and was like, my wife has a point. Definitely my wife. She's got a point.
My
She
wife
wrote
is-
to you for sure. It was her, and she's right.
You should forgive her so then you forgive me. Even though you know nothing of this woman, but just forgive. Forgiveness is all
a virtue.
about what we are, right?
Yeah. It'll
And
make
I
you feel
forgave
better.
you.
You're welcome. I forgave you for not talking to me.
I forgave you. Now come here.
Yeah. Let's
Give Daddy
exchange.
some sugar.
Terrible. But there is a little bit left. Now, I have one of my aunts who was one of the siblings to always welcome him, but also didn't agree with him being left out of funeral planning, trying to fight his corner. She says, I need to figure out a way forward with him and his family. She asked me if I just never plan to know my new siblings, and I told her, yep. I said we will never have anything in common. There will always be a very big age gap, and Tom will never ever be my dad in anything but blood. I also accused her of enabling him, which pissed her off. I know I could or should block him, and I might. I haven't decided that far yet. Right now, not responding works for me, but seeing as this has gotten heated, and my aunt is fully ready to keep fighting for him, maybe with his wife, I don't know. I decided, why not ask online? This isn't me asking in a place of therapy or anything else, by the way. So what says the internet? Am I the a-hole? No.
I don't think so.
I think it makes sense why he is coming back after all this time and, you know, wanting a relationship. He's lost important people in his life, even if he wasn't showing up for them. And I think he probably really does want a relationship with you.
Yeah.
However, you don't really get to demand that. You don't get to choose when you come back into someone's life and whether or not they accept that.
Especially with everything that's happened in the
Yeah.
past. Like, oh, now you're ready to come back into my life, so I have to be ready?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm
No.
gonna go away.
Yeah.
Like
He's
you
allowed
did.
to ask.
Remember?
Oh,
Got 'em.
Burn.
Burn.
He's allowed to ask, but you can also say
Yeah.
no.
But you can also deny.
Indeed.
You have no obligation to forgive this man for
Mm-mm.
everything that he's done. And if you don't want him in your life, like he didn't want you in his, you
Yeah.
can completely just
Yeah.
not have him in your life.
You are
And he
allowed
has to
to say
deal with
no.
that guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can deal with it because that's what he did.
And
So
don't care what they say.
Yeah,
Don't
care
you
what they
know,
say. It's
Their
up to you,
opinion.
OP.
Their opinion doesn't matter.
My sister moved out, but her apartment problems keep landing on my doorstep.
I got 99 problems, and all her apartment problems are some of them.
I am a 37-year-old female. My younger sister, 23 years old, has been living with my husband and me for 3.5 years. She moved in after her divorce from an 8-month marriage, and I need unbiased advice on whether or not I'm being cold. By the way, this comes from a noob gamer 88, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Dakota.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, at the time, my mom was passing away from cancer, and I kind of took over the mom figure role since my sister is so much younger than me. I told her she could move in rent-free as long as she had a job and worked on paying off her debt from her first marriage, focused on herself, saved money, and maybe eventually bought a house of her own. How much debt does she have from her first marriage? She's only 23. In October 2024, she told me she was pregnant with her boyfriend, whom she had met about 4 months earlier. I was a bit shocked because the plan had been for her to save enough money to move out on her own before starting a family. This girl is going through a lot. Already, had one marriage and then is now pregnant and still has debt from the first marriage.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's a lot.
And she's 23.
That's a lot.
But I do support her and I want to help. So her boyfriend moved in a few weeks later, rent-free. I told them they were not paying rent and to save as much as possible so that in 12 months they could get a nice place of their own. 12 months from then would be about 3 months after the baby was born. A year later, it was time for them to move. I found out they had not saved any money. I don't know where their money went, but I did notice they were using Grubhub for every meal. I know the boyfriend has a decent job, but my sister quit working 5 months into her pregnancy. They ended up getting a seemingly nice and cheap apartment about 10 minutes from my house. A week after they moved out, they came knocking at my door at 3 a.m. because they found a bed bug on their bed.
Oh no.
I'm not letting them inside.
Nah, you are banned.
You're banned. You can't come inside with your bed bugs. They will get everywhere.
You got bad bugs, the bed bugs.
The next day, they had their leasing office get a pest control company to spray the apartment. Supposedly, there were bed bugs in the walls and under the carpet, and they had to lift the carpet. This is my nightmare.
Bed bugs in the walls, you got wall bugs.
A few days later, they went back to their apartment to start cleaning and washing clothes. After a week, they came back to my place saying they had found another bed bug in the baby's clothes. They complained to the leasing office again and tried to get out of the contract. They should be able to.
Yeah,
They should absolutely be able to.
I believe so.
That is, yikes.
You gave my baby bed bugs. You got baby bed bugs.
Supposedly, they would need to give months' notice and still pay for 2 months. No, I'm throwing a fit. I'm
Nah,
like,
you have an infestation.
there was an infestation in this house. After a week of staying with us, they went back to their apartment that same night and found a cockroach in their kitchen, so they came back again. Cockroach, honestly, that one's fine. Cockroach is like, meh, well, who cares? At this point, I was getting really irritated. I want her and them to be independent. I told her, you will always have bugs everywhere you go. I had roaches in my first apartment because it was old. It was unfortunate you got bed bugs in your first week, but because of the type of apartment it is, older and cheaper, it is expected. No.
Not bed bugs.
No. Roaches, yeah. Mice, maybe. Other bugs, sure. Bed bugs? No. That should not be expected.
They were almost eradicated.
Yeah, bed bugs
Almost
is an infestation.
entirely eradicated. This close.
Bed
And now they're
bugs?
back. They're on the rise now.
Her and her boyfriend said they didn't want their baby living in those conditions. I told them they couldn't expect a bug-free home, and the leasing office was trying to take care of the situation. Honestly, OP,
Bro, you're too chill.
you're too chill because I'm sorry. If it were other bugs, I would get your statement. But with bed bugs, I don't get you.
If they were like crickets, sure. These can be like
You can get oh my goodness. I do not agree with you, OP. After speaking to the office, again, they said they knew there was a roach infestation and that they would have pest control spray 1 unit per week. So they knew there was a roach infestation and they knew there was a bed bug infestation and they let you move in.
maybe they knew the roaches.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
not the
Maybe
bed
they
bugs.
didn't know the bed bug, but the infestation in the walls, in everything.
Well, you can't do one unit at a time because it
No.
doesn't do anything. They just
Yeah.
move to a different
Yeah,
unit and
it's
then they
just
move to a different
everywhere.
unit. You got
This-
to do the whole building.
They're in Unit G, so their apartment won't be sprayed until January. I told my sister that I will always be there and that I'm here to help. I'm feeling frustrated. My husband and I just want our own space again. We feel we've gone above and beyond helping them. We let them live for free in our spare room for over a year since her pregnancy, and even years before that when she was single. I feel for my 3-month-old niece, but I also question how much responsibility is fair to take on. Would I really be the a-hole if I told them to deal with their apartment issues despite the bugs? Or should I let them stay with us longer, potentially for who knows how long? They say they need to start looking for a place, but I asked what if their next place has issues? Their next place won't have bed bugs.
Yeah, you can check that pretty easy.
You could check it pretty easily.
Most people just don't know you have to anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still do.
Always check for bed bugs, especially if you're staying in hostels.
Yeah, and don't buy
check for
used
bed bugs.
mattresses.
Never buy used mattresses. I love my little sister and would do anything for her, but I am giving mixed signals because I tell her I'll always help, yet I sound frustrated, which makes her feel uncomfortable. I asked my husband if he would act the same way if it were him with a baby, and he said yes, because bugs are dirty, carry diseases, and are unsafe for the baby. I'm very logical and tough due to everything I've been through with my physical disability. When problems come my way, I usually accept them and deal with them, and I don't like pity. In this case, I don't see a problem, and if it were me, I would just deal with it. So sometimes I come across as cold. Any advice would be appreciated. And there are comments, but again, I think it would be different if they didn't have bed bugs and a baby.
Yeah, buddy, you would just deal with bed bugs. Like you would just let bed bugs consume your blood every night.
Bed bugs are one of the hardest infestations to get rid of. But you know what you can infest your life with? More episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story, so let's get back to it. Comment 1, not the a-hole. They need to get the F out and deal with the bugs or find another option. If it was bed bugs, the landlord would have paid for a hotel if they had pushed it, as they're considered dangerous parasites. Roaches are not considered dangerous. They're just gross and can be controlled with cleaning and green pesticides. They didn't save money, so they couldn't afford a nicer place. So all of that is their clear and predictable fault. No sympathy for self-inflicted wounds.
Well, I will say that not every landlord abides by every law and regulation.
Clearly,
so
they
it's
aren't.
very possible that they could have been like, yeah, we're not going to help you like that, and we're confident you don't have the means or knowledge to tell us that we need to be forced to help you.
Yeah, this is like a 23-year-old with a baby. I don't think they are, too scared of your sister. Comment 2 says, not the a-hole. If they had saved during that last rent-free year, they could have gotten either a house or at least a better apartment. But they decided to just F around instead. So their current problems are their own fault. You've done more than enough. They need to step up and get out. Comment 3 says, look at the German roach subreddit. They have chemicals they recommend. Buy them for your sister. She can treat the problem herself with professional chemicals. Then that's it. No more help. At this point, it's not healthy for you or her. And that is the end of that story. I reported my sister for a HIPAA violation because I've had enough.
Oh, she dirty.
I, 28 female, come from a very dysfunctional and toxic family. I am no contact with one of my sisters, 27 female, I will call her Sarah, and have been for years. There is no repairing the relationship, and trust me when I say that it's for a good reason. My mother, 53 female, is also extremely toxic, so I keep strict boundaries and only speak to her on my terms. By the way, this comes from That Palpitation 3653, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. Despite me wanting nothing to do with Sarah, my mom constantly updates me on her life. I hate gossip and drama. I do not even use social media. And I've told my mother repeatedly that I don't want updates. But she ignores that. The part that has bothered me for years is that my sister works as a nurse at the county jail. And she constantly shares private inmate information with my mom, stuff she could only know from her job as their nurse. My mom then repeats all of it to me, even though I never ask and do not want to know. Examples. She tells my mom when specific people are booked in and when they have blood draws done, even before they're fully processed in the system. Or before the info is made public. She has told my mom about conversations she has had with inmates during their specific medical procedures, which she describes in detail. She has shared details about inmates' cases and all of their personal history. For one individual, she even shared back over 20 years of work history for him, and that he used to work at the Department of Corrections, and that is why they never sent him to prison for the spicy sleep offenses and why they kept everything hush-hush. One of the most disturbing examples was when my mom told me not to go to a specific coffee shop because the guy who works there has AIDS. I asked how she knew. She tried to say, I just know. But I called it out again and asked, did Sarah tell you? She admitted yes, and then described the guy in detail. I told her that was deeply messed up, not just immoral, but illegal, and that my sister was stupid for sharing this information to begin with. and that she, my mom, was even stupider and making it worse for my sister by spreading it. Every time I tell my mom it's wrong and that Sarah is violating people's rights big time. But I never report anything because I hate drama and I do not want to poke my nose in anyone else's business, especially my sister. So I just move on because I genuinely hate drama and want no part of their chaos or my sister's life. I figure karma always catches up anyways. Now for what happened today. A little less than 2 weeks ago, I lost someone, 53 female, incredibly close to me. Someone who was like a second parent. I will call her my other parent. She was in my life since I was 14. Half my life. She passed away unexpectedly in her sleep. I did not tell my mom because I knew she would twist it, victimize herself, or say awful things. There was just no point. I should note that my mom has been diagnosed with bipolar and refuses to take medication anymore. She also claims she does not have borderline personality disorder, but I think she just refuses to admit that. She's the poster child for it. Everyone close to her agrees with this. Today I mentioned I was coming to town for the funeral and casually mentioned the loss. My mother immediately went off saying she was disgusted I had ever referred to her as a second parent. My mother only ever met her a few times. She literally knows nothing about her. Despite that, I stayed calm and respectful, but definitely defended the woman who loved me selflessly and genuinely when my mother would not. So yeah, my mother has a long history of doing twisted things to some of my siblings and me and justifying it as tough love. But the point with all that is my mom was a very big believer about the whole being accountable and teaching us lessons the hard way. At least that's how she justifies her behavior. She states to this day how it was so hard for her to make those decisions and do that to her own children, but how she does not regret it because it is what made us successful today. That's crazy. She's like, I hated that I had to treat you terribly, but honestly, I don't hate it because you deserved it.
That's
Kinda
so
mixed signal.
messed up.
Yeah.
It's like I hated neglecting you, but I had to do it to make
Had to
you
do
the
it.
champ you are today.
You're
The
welcome.
champ. I
It's-
was a jerk, so you could win.
It's like in Guardians of the Galaxy in is it the second or third movie? I guess the second movie where
One with like Kirk
Peter,
Russell.
yeah, where
Yeah.
Peter's dad is
Uh-huh.
like, I felt so bad putting that tumor into her head, and then Peter's like, what? That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
It's a cheap excuse for neglect and inability.
Anyways, I tend to view these freakouts with her as basically talking to a mentally ill person. My brother and I came to that realization long ago. That is the only way we can handle it. So I was just going to ignore her and go about my life. But that's when she crossed a line. She sent a text that said she knew about the fact my other parent had passed as soon as it happened. And if that my other parent meant so much to me, I should have been the one taking care of her so her son was not the one who had to find her passed away. That literally made my blood run cold because she had no way of knowing who found her. Not the sister again!
Wait, so now the sister's basically saying like the sister's divulging secrets about the investigation?
It seems like it.
Oh, yeah. Screw this lady.
Oh, that,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I love family.
Yeah, not this family, no.
Is this a no contact situation?
I think it's getting to that point. Because you can't trust your sister with any information, and your mom doesn't take any accountability. You would at least want to distance yourself.
And at least with what your mom said, she's actively trying to hurt you.
Yeah. That information was not public. When it was shared with only a very select few people. The situation is still under investigation. We do not even have the toxicology report. There's only one person who could have told my mom anything that soon or known details about the case. She crossed a line. Not only did she blast personal information about someone I love like that, but she knew about her passing the entire time and never even bothered to check in on me. I stayed calm and replied back to her that I'm thankful for her and all the things I've learned from her, especially the one lesson that made the biggest impact on my life, that accountability matters. When someone breaks the law, you gotta report it, because that's how people learn. Accountability matters more than anything and will make a difference in the long run. Even when it's hard, you gotta do it and report people you love. I said that HIPAA is federal law and that Sarah keeps violating it by sharing protected confidential information.
Yes,
it is. I was not doing her any favors by keeping quiet about it anymore, that I need to keep Sarah accountable and do the right thing. Ooh, throwing your mom's words right back into her face. I like it.
I love it. It's getting creamy and rich.
Oh yeah, that soup is stirred to perfection.
That's some nice revenge bisque you got going there.
My mom insulted me and said my logic was bad, but I did not respond because I was too busy filing a HIPAA complaint with every single incident documented in great detail. But here's why I'm torn. I don't talk to my sister, but I also don't wish harm on her. Part of me feels guilty because if they take this seriously, this report could ruin her career. And I feel kind of guilty about reporting her because I only did it now because of how emotional and angry the situation made me. Not purely because it was the right thing to do. I am a firm believer of live and let live, and that karma always works things out on its own, and there's absolutely no justification trying to make it happen sooner. So I just feel really grimy about the entire thing. But at the same time, she really has been violating HIPAA for years and still is. Innocent people's medical information and personal business has been spread around town. She clearly does not care about confidentiality. I did not lie about anything I said in the report. It was literally all the truth. Realistically, though, I do not know if anything will come from it. She constantly brags that all the deputies protect her and will not let anything bad happen to her. And her husband is a sheriff too, with the sheriff's department. So realistically, I bet nothing happens and my complaint doesn't even get taken seriously. But you know what is serious? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Live and let live. But the thing is, the way she's living is actively hurting people.
It is. That's the thing. You know that it's been actively hurting people too.
And she feels like she can do this because these are people who are in jail. So like when you said innocent people, stuff like, no, they're in jail.
Yeah.
But also, it's so hard to make a life after jail. But to have that stuff shared on top of it is just like adding another cinder block to a person who's already drowning.
Absolutely. And especially the telling OP that like a man at the
coffee shop
has, you know, an illness that is completely personal. And should not be shared, you know, very personal medical information. And I'm just wondering who else she's telling.
Yeah.
Because if she's telling OP immediately, oh, don't go to that coffee shop, I bet she's telling her friends, don't go to the coffee shop. And I guess all this worrying was for nothing. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I guess 50-50. Part of me does want it to happen, but part of me does not. But I hate drama. I never interfere in anyone's life, but I feel like this crossed so many lines that I genuinely feel morally torn. I hate to admit it, but I think I let my emotions get the best of me on this one. So am I the a-hole? Am I in the wrong? Comment 1, not the a-hole. Think about the guy who was just working at a coffee shop and got his dirty laundry blasted out in public where anyone could have overheard. He deserves basic privacy. Reporting is protecting him and others like him. If she does get consequences, it's because she ruined her own career. Comment 2 says, you're the a-hole for not reporting the violations for so long. You're the a-hole to yourself for keeping in contact with your egg donor after everything she keeps doing to you. My condolences on the loss of your real mother. I really think you need therapy to deal with everything you've been through. OP says I needed to hear this. Thank you. And that's the end of that story. But yeah, I think those comments have a lot of great points.
That's another thing. Like if someone is doing something illegal and you don't do anything about it, your inaction can also make you culpable.
Yeah.
I caught my stepmother cheating on my father, and now he's suspecting something.
What do you do?
Hi, everyone. This all started a few months ago when I, 20 female, went on a horse ride with my boyfriend, 23 male, my aunt, 30 female, and my stepmom, 51 female. There were a few other people in our group, but they're irrelevant here.
Ooh.
It was a weekend ride, so we were planning to stay overnight. By the way, this comes from Odd Snow 7623, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Everything started out normal. We got there, unloaded, set up camp, fed the horses, etc. It was about 1 to 2 p.m. by the time everyone was settled in and talking about going out on a ride like we do every year. So we head out and everyone is drinking except me, my boyfriend, and my aunt. This ride usually involves stopping at nearby bars, so everyone was getting pretty tipsy. I immediately noticed that my stepmom was wasted. She was doing stupid stuff like lifting her shirt up. Just very childish behavior. At that point, the three of us knew we needed to eat and cut back on drinking. We started heading back, and by now it's around 8 p.m. People are getting a fire going, eating, and talking about going back to the bar, bareback on the horses. I noticed my stepmom walk off to take a phone call. I didn't think anything of it at first, assumed she was calling my dad to check in. A few minutes go by, and she's still on the phone. My aunt gives me that look, basically telling me to go see who she's talking to. Before this moment, cheating never even crossed my mind. So I walk over, and she's giggling and laughing. I ask who she's talking to, and she just shoos me away. At that point, I'm pissed, because now something feels off. I go back and explain the situation to my aunt and boyfriend. The group decides to go back to the bar on horseback again, and she's still on the phone. When she finally comes back, she asks, "Geez, where did everyone go?" We tell her they left 30 minutes ago.
Dang,
She's
girl.
still obliterated and insists she needs to go too. We tried talking her out of it, but she's not listening. She throws me her stuff, including her phone, to hold while she tries to climb onto this massive horse. She's 5'2", so watching this was something. While she's struggling, I get the bright idea to look at her phone. It was already open on the call log. I see 20 plus calls to a contact named Cowboy.
We had it, partner.
Keep in mind, this area has almost no service. Then I check the texts. I see disgusting, vulgar messages exchanged between them. I was livid, but tried to stay smart and not react yet. She finally manages to get on the horse, so I shut the phone off and put it down. Then she just takes off. No phone, no wallet, no light, nothing. We couldn't catch her. I sit down and tell my aunt and boyfriend what I saw. I'm crying because I never wanted anyone to hurt my dad. She's been the only mother figure in my life. My biological mom passed away when I was 12 and wasn't in my life after age 2. So my stepmom is all I've really known. She wasn't the best mom, far from it, but she was something, and I was grateful for that. And my love for my dad is unmatched. For context, my parents' relationship has always been very toxic.
That makes sense. That kind of tracks for this.
You sound about right.
Yeah.
They probably should have split up a long time ago. My dad used to have a serious drinking problem, but he quit about 6 months ago due to health issues, and he's genuinely the best I've seen him in years. Now she's the one with the drinking problem, and it's causing issues. Anyway, the next day, we tried to come up with a plan to get back into her phone. We thought maybe we could watch her enter her password, and then later, when she passed out, take pictures of the messages for proof, but the opportunity never came. Few days go by, and I'm just sitting on this info with no idea what to do. My parents have been together 15 years.
Dang. Whew.
Again, she's the only mom figure I've had, but I resent her now. I also didn't want to hurt my dad, especially when he's finally doing better. After thinking long and hard, I decided to text her. I said, "Amy, while you were wasted the other night, you were not being as quiet on the phone as you thought. Then you fell off your horse with your phone open to a disturbing text thread with Cowboy. I think you need to tell Dad what's going on before the weekend. He may not be the perfect dad or boyfriend, but he is still my father, and carrying this burden is not something I should have to do or will do." Honestly, that's a pretty good text.
I think that's a great text.
I really like that. She called me and said that if I told him, he would punt her out, and she basically tried to guilt trip me into staying quiet. Like it would be my fault if everything blew up.
Tough.
Like,
If you tell
Aw.
him, I'll have
and
consequences.
it's your fault that you cheated. What?
Oh no,
Aw.
tough. Girl, I don't know.
Go hang out with Cowboy.
Figure it out. Yeah, maybe he can house you.
Yeehaw. I put my foot down and told her that if I found out she kept this up, I would tell him, because what she's doing is not right. She tried to claim the guy was just a friend. I told her friends don't talk like that. She basically admitted that. Few weeks go by, nothing major happens. Then, this Sunday, my dad starts sending me screenshots of her calling the same guy.
I think OP wasn't like doing the right thing for a while, but I don't like that you said stop this or I'll tell him because
Right.
I think he should know
It
now.
should have been
I'm telling him or
Yeah.
you're telling him and that's
Right.
it.
You have till this time to
Yeah.
tell him, or I'll
Yeah,
tell
because
him.
it's not fair for your dad to not know this.
Yeah. The dates were old, but still. For context, me and my dad have never been close when it comes to their relationship. I've never been involved like this. But now I'm old enough to understand what's happening. And maybe he feels he can talk to me. He basically said that if she's cheating, he'll punt her out. And now I don't know what to do. But I know what you guys should always do, and that's listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We have got just a little bit left.
A little bit left.
It sounds like your dad already knows now.
Yeah, and at that point, honestly, I think you should be like, hey, I found something out, wasn't really sure how to tell you, but, I love you a lot.
I'll be here
Think
for
you
you.
should know. Yeah. I'll support you, etc.
I don't want to lose the only mother figure I've ever had, even though she's hurt me deeply. I don't know if I'm being selfish, thinking maybe they could work it out, or if I'm just scared of the chaos that would come with them splitting. They've been together 15 years and also run a business together. It would be heck. I'm all over the place. This is weighing on me so heavily. I don't want my dad to hate me if I tell him the truth, and I feel so stuck. Please help. There's some commenters. Commenter 1, take away what your stepmother wants and ask yourself 2 questions. Can I carry this burden? And would dad want to know? There's your answer. This isn't about her. She is the one who hurt and betrayed her family. This is about you and your father's feelings and what you can live with. That's the end of that story.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, dad
Yeah.
knows now, but
Yeah,
just
but
being
yeah.
there for him.
Yeah.
Because I would be very stressed that the stress from that could
Make it worse. Yeah.
hurt his sobriety too.
Absolutely.
So hopefully
Yeah,
not.
I think just be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
I refuse to attend my sister's wedding because she's marrying my ex.
That sounds really messy.
I, male 27, have a twin sister, female 27. For as long as I can remember, my sister and I have always been close and had each other's backs. When she came out as attracted to the same gender, I was the first one she told. I supported her wholeheartedly. By the way, this comes from Slow Hovercraft 4860, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. 3 years ago, I was engaged to my then girlfriend, Julie. We had met in college and became fast friends, eventually becoming a couple. I proposed to Julie and she said yes. Everything seemed fine until I noticed that Julie had started to be a little more distant with me, not giving me a cold shoulder or anything, but off. I asked her if she was okay. She said she was fine, but would like some space for a while. I was worried, but I respected her wishes and gave her space. A few weeks later, she broke up with me. I was devastated and didn't know what happened. I reached out to my sister for support and she was there for me. She and Julie had gotten along really well, so I asked her if she knew what happened. She was hesitant, but said yes. I asked her to explain, and she said it wasn't her place to tell me. I kept pushing, but my sister stood her ground and said that she couldn't say why, and Julie would tell me when and if she was ready. Well, she did. It turns out Julie was bi, but thought it was just passing feelings. She'd never been with a girl before. She spoke to my sister about it, and my sister helped her realize her true identity and feelings. Her words. Julie told me that it wouldn't be fair to either of us if she didn't embrace her true self and the fact that she no longer had the same feelings for me she had before. I was stunned, but eventually accepted it. We parted on good terms, even if it was awkward. I was heartbroken, but eventually moved on. I didn't start dating or want to for a while. Then one day I found out Julie had started dating another girl.
Dun,
my
dun,
sister!
Wow!
I was shocked and admittedly a bit angry at both of them. I had an argument with my sister. She swore they didn't do anything while she was with me, but Julie had admitted she had a crush on my sister. My sister liked her back, but didn't do anything because of me. She swore she didn't make Julie dump me to be with her. The sad part was I could tell she was telling the truth. After that, my relationship with my sister wasn't as great as it used to be. I stopped talking to her as much or visiting. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, my sister comes over alone and tells me that she and Julie are engaged. and she was here to invite me to the wedding. The rest of the conversation was a blur, but after she left, I drank a lot. After thinking about it for a few days, I told my sister I wouldn't be attending her wedding. She was heartbroken and begged me to come because she wanted me there. Even my mom called me asking me to come. I told her no. Regardless, I refused to go. I just can't stand having to be there in the crowd and see my sister marry the woman I had planned to marry. I don't know, maybe I'm just holding a grudge. Am I the a-hole? And there is an edit and an update, but what do you think?
I don't think you gotta go to this
Yeah.
wedding. I think that's really weird that they're all like, you really have to. She's marrying my ex.
Yeah. Like, this is, again, you literally just said this is a person I thought I was going to marry.
Right. You're basically going and watching what you thought your wedding would be.
You're not holding a grudge, you're healing.
This is a weird thing for your sister to do.
So weird. Edit. Thank you, everyone, for your responses. Even if I didn't respond to all of them, I have read all of them. I've decided not to attend the wedding. While part of me is still hurt, the truth of the matter is that my sister was more than just a twin. She was my best friend since birth. Right now, I can't bring myself to cut her off completely. For now, I'm going low contact, and I'll be looking at taking a trip to Vancouver during the time of the wedding. And there is an update 2 months later. Hey, everyone, the wedding was last weekend, and as I said in an edit, I took a trip to Vancouver. I disconnected from everyone and just enjoyed the beautiful Canadian city. Before going, I called my sister and told her that I wasn't coming. I figured I owed my twin that much. She was upset, but surprisingly agreed with my decision. I told my parents, and they said they understood. I left last Friday and came back this Monday. From what I heard, many people asked about me, but the wedding went off without a hitch. While I was there, I decided that despite everything, I loved my sister and still wanted a relationship with her. When I came home on Monday, I drove straight to her place. Luckily, my ex was asleep, and they weren't leaving for their honeymoon until Tuesday. I took my sister to a local cafe we loved as kids and talked. I explained my feelings and even showed her the post I made and all your comments. She started crying and apologizing for hurting me and being an awful twin. She asked me if I was planning to go no contact with her. I told her no, and I didn't expect her to leave her now wife for my sake. But I also told her not to expect me around as much, at least for now. By the way, I expect you guys to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Holidays are gonna be weird
Holidays are going to be really
for
weird.
a little bit. And I do think after a while it's gonna get easier and it's gonna be more normal, but I also think that it will forever be slightly off still. Because that will always still be there.
I mean, you're never going to be like fully, I feel like it's going to be really hard to be fully comfortable around your ex. For one. It's a weird conversation for them to have at the wedding, I'm sure. Like,
Don't date your twins' exes.
yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff that happened. And props to OP for being mature about it. And then also having the another level of maturity in that he was willing to talk to his sister and explain his feelings.
Yeah.
And then she was, apologetic.
Way more understanding for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to start counseling as many of you suggested. I told her this and she started apologizing again, saying she never meant to push me this far and she would have left my ex a long time ago if I told her how much it bothered me. She assumed since I didn't that I was okay with it. I told her straight up that love works in some odd ways, and while I understand she fell in love, I couldn't have the same relationship with her I used to, that we'd have to work on it. We ended the conversation on a tense but also optimistic note. When I dropped her home, she wrapped me in a hug and held me for a long time. Then she broke apart, gave me a sad smile, and went inside. She left for her honeymoon on Tuesday, and I started my counseling on Thursday, which I felt went well. And that is the end of the story, but
Nice.
yeah, that's really rough.
That is rough.
Oof. This is
I'm
why
glad they had it out though.
yeah, me too. But this is why Summer I Turned Pretty is just a TV show. We
Or
shouldn't
is
be
it a
doing-
reality?
Maybe this is what it
Well,
was
I guess,
based off
yeah,
of.
maybe it was this. They
This
just made
was the
it straight.
catalyst.
My advice after reading this story is don't date your siblings' exes.
My sister wanted to reconcile as if she hadn't ignored me for months.
Maybe you should have contacted me a few months ago.
And there's a trigger warning for emotional abuse, and this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My sister, 27, and I, 20, female, haven't spoken since March of this year. For background, I had a baby this year on March 18th. Congratulations. I know I'm really young and I wasn't really trying to get pregnant, but it wasn't like I was preventing it either. By the way, this comes from user levelupstairs5452, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit where this story was submitted. And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, my boyfriend and I are really happy with our baby girl.
Yay!
Oh yeah, babies. She is the joy of my life. I really can't imagine my life without her smile, her eyes watching me every morning, and of course, her constant crying. It makes me so happy being a mom. I heard that becoming a young mom ruins your life, but for me, it was different. She saved my life when it was in a really dark time, and I love her. Did I mention I adore my baby? My sister also became a young mom and had my niece when she was 18. She didn't have a good relationship with the father, and they broke up when the baby wasn't even 6 months old. And he hasn't been involved since. My niece is now 7 years old. With the help of my parents, she graduated and became a nurse. It was really tough on her, but it also improved her as a person. She used to smoke and also hide bad things in the house without my parents knowing. She was a constant runaway and had very bad friendships. After she got pregnant, she got better and has been a really good person and mother.
I will say that happened to my mom. She changed her life
Yeah,
whenever she got pregnant with me.
I feel like it's only like one of two.
Mhm.
You either get better or you get worse, you know?
Can't stay the same.
Can't stay the same. Everything's different now. But you're either gonna, because if you do stay the same, that's just getting worse once you have a kid. Something gotta change. My other siblings and I used to bully her for her past behavior. Don't get me wrong, we didn't bully her in a bad way. If you have siblings, you know what I'm talking about. Sophia? Riley?
Yeah.
Bullying in the good way.
You always give them a hard time. You make sure they don't forget.
Who's the head honcho?
Who's the big brother?
Who's the big dog?
Yeah. You know what? Actually, real quick, some bullying that happened. You know what my brother did today? He called me and he's like, hey, what are you doing for my bachelor party? You doing it or is Joe going to have to do it? I'm like, bro, you haven't even asked me to be your best man. He's like, oh, yeah? Well, we've been talking about it for years. But I'm like, if someone's going to ask you to be their best man, they'd be like, hey, man, would you like to be my best man? I'd be like, heck yeah. He's like, well, forget it. Forget that I said that. Hey, Riley, you want to be my best man? I'm like, no, I'm not. Come on. Give me like an axe or something. Give me a present.
Give me an axe?
I don't care. Give me a
Gimli?
gift. Yes. I will forever give him heck for this because he's expecting me to be his best man, not even ask me. Not even give me the honor.
Dang, low-key, I kind of see his perspective, though.
Of course. Of course you do.
We would say that she better pray her daughter doesn't do the things that she did. Now, on to the present. I don't live close to my family, and when I knew I was pregnant, I hid the pregnancy from them. My 2 older sisters have children, and when they told my mom they were pregnant, my mom did not react very well. Let's just say she likes to use the silent treatment very much. I didn't want any kind of bad feelings or stress during my pregnancy as it could cause something to my baby, so I kept it a secret. Sounds smart. Fast forward to the birth of my baby. It was a very difficult birth. My baby was in a sunny side position, and I spent 20 hours with contractions and 5 hours pushing. It didn't help that she was a very big baby, 9 pounds.
Woo!
What is a sunny side position?
You know what a sunny side up egg is?
Yeah, I'm thinking like an egg.
I don't know. As a woman doctor, that's my theory.
Your baby looked like an egg?
Sophia, do you know what a sunny side position is?
Say the sentence again.
Sunny side position, baby.
No, say the sentence.
My baby was in a sunny side position.
Like probably facing up.
You can look. You
facing
have
up.
the computer to look it up.
No, you just wanted my
That's. I wanted the fact.
opinion. You just wanted
You're
my
the
opinion. I
fag.
thought.
Sophia bot.
Dude, just staring blankly back at me like, read it again.
I'm thinking it's like feet first.
When the baby is head down and faces the mother's back.
Oh, okay.
So head down, facing the back, so it like torpedo style.
Belly
Wait,
up. It's supposed to be like a football when the baby comes out.
shouldn't it come out head first?
Yeah.
This is the mother's belly. I'm like this,
Wait, can we see you? We can't see you.
but like I'm like doing a handstand.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, sorry. Wait, no, I'm doing this.
okay.
So
So,
my
it was kind
head-
of like
So
butt,
this is the mother's belly.
kind of like butt first.
No. I'm doing a handstand. I can't do one right now.
Yeah, Tia says butt first.
It said head first.
Belly up, feet. You know what?
Yeah, it said head first. I just can't do a handstand, guys.
OP, congratulations on giving birth to an egg.
That's huge. We've never seen that before.
A 9-pound egg. Gotta be an ostrich. But once she was delivered, my life changed forever, and it's been incredible ever since. My plan was that once the baby was here and I recovered from the birth, I was going to tell everyone about her. Some of my friends told me that I was an a-hole, but I didn't want any kind of stress for my baby. I'm a very sensitive person, and the pregnancy hormones were no help. So once my baby was 1 month old, I called my mom first and told her. What happened next was ugly. Why? Why? Baby's already born. You getting mad is not going to do anything.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's going to make OP feel guilty, and that's what we want. We want to feed off that.
And it's
that's
like,
how we
this is-
feed off of people, Dakota. We make them feel bad.
This is just a perfect example of why she kept it a secret. That was smart. That was a smart move.
I would be hurt if my kid didn't tell me they were pregnant.
Yeah, but what if they were just like, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want the baby to be stressed out in any way because I stress out very easily.
Well, I would like to be a point of contact that is no stress for them. And it would make me upset and feel like I failed as a father.
Dang, and I'd be like, I also want $10 million, but we don't get all the things we want. Some things we have to earn.
I was hoping that in this scenario, I always cooked her pancakes for breakfast, and she always loved that.
You're like, okay, but in this scenario, Riley, you're a good dad.
Yeah.
Okay. No, okay, yeah. If I was your daughter, I'd tell you I was pregnant, Riley. We got there.
I love you, Charlotte.
Is that your baby name?
I'm not telling you.
She said some very nasty things, very hurtful, and basically she said she was disappointed in me for doing what my sisters did. I understood her. It wasn't something I was planning, but it happened. Also, it didn't help that she is the type of mom who projects her dreams onto her children, more specifically onto me because I'm the one who had more potential. I'm not saying she did a horrible job as a mom, but she really didn't do a good one, either when she compared me with a bunch of her friends' kids for not being good enough. It's a messed up thing to do to your child, which I am working through to not repeat the same mistake. I know how it feels being good enough for the person you love the most as a kid, so being the child who couldn't make her wishes true broke her, and she became distant. When reading all the things she said about me, I realized it was a good idea to keep my pregnancy a secret because it really affected me. Exactly. So you're vindicated immediately. You made the right call for your child.
This is the
And for
why,
you.
because your M mother is a C that she's an A. Your mother.
Your mother? Question mark? Certified a-hole. That's what YMCA stands for now.
Yeah. Also, I would probably contemplate, if I were not to tell her that I was pregnant, then maybe I should not tell her to come over to see my child.
Well, I think that would kind of, put the icing on the cake. It's like, well, clearly I was never going to just like keep you on the outside forever. The baby's a month old now. It's the perfect time for everyone to know and come see the baby. It's like,
I will say not letting anyone know is kind of wild, but you have your reasons and you already did it. So people probably need time to process that because I would be upset.
You flood the baby full of free radicals from all that stress you'd be feeling. You did the right thing. I was sad, angry, and depressed. I understand that her projecting her dreams onto me for so long took a toll on me and was hurting me more than I thought. But my partner has been amazing during this time and has helped me realize that it's not my fault and I shouldn't be sad because I didn't become what she wanted me to become. 1 week later, she called me and was giving me advice on how to wash, feed, and keep my baby alive since I was a young, dumb girl who doesn't know anything about taking care of a baby.
Exhibit A of why we should be no contact with your mother.
Dude, Joan of Arc was 15. Did you call her a young, dumb baby? She led armies.
And built an ark.
She probably had schizophrenia, but she also led armies.
Hey, Sophia, I saw that you started climbing recently. Did you know that you need chalk, shoes, and you need to actually work on building your upper strength so you can rock climb? I don't think you've been doing that because you're like basically a 22-year-old stupid girl, and stupid girls don't do that. So
Yeah.
I think you need to do some push-ups.
Stupid girl, no, no, do stupid girl stuff. Stupid girl gotta be sports girl.
Why I oughta.
Wow, you see that was boxing, not climbing. You did this. You did.
Oh, dude, that's some technique right there. That was some form.
Did you know that's called a speed bag? And what you do is you take both your hands and you
Boom, 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 boom,
excuse
boom,
me.
boom, boom.
A man is talking.
Also,
No, okay, this is all a bit for people.
yeah, this is all a bit.
This is all a bit.
My least favorite thing is seeing parents tell other parents how to parent their child. Let them do it on their own. Every parent, this is the way I look at it.
Natural selection.
Every parent is building an arrow, and their arrow is their child. And the way that they decide to build their arrow, we will see how well this child does whenever they go out into the world and they shoot it out. We'll see how far it goes, how good it travels, and where it hits the mark. Don't mess with it. Let them do it their own. Now, if you see that this child is in immediate danger, intervene. Other than that, let them at it. Don't
Yeah.
tell them stuff. Gosh.
I like Clark Kent's dad's explanation from the new Superman movie, where he's like, our job is to give you tools to go out there and live your own life, and our job is to let you make a fool of yourself and to fall down, and for us to be there to help you get back up and use the tools that we gave you, not to do it ourselves. Or something like that. I don't know.
Exactly.
He was back there crying because that was so beautiful.
Aw.
I told her that I wasn't going to talk to her if she was going to try to tell me how to parent my baby, as if she was the perfect mom. She didn't apologize for the things she said and just kept calling me to know how the baby was and how I was. After some time, we started talking like normal again. Also, my family's the kind of family that doesn't apologize when someone hurts another. They don't show any affection. We just kind of assume we love each other without showing any kind of love. Italian or Irish? Which one? Just kidding, guys.
This is wild.
When something happened, we just let time pass and act like it didn't happen. To the point where I feel very awkward when my parents say that they love me because I really don't remember those words in my childhood. Now that I'm older, it's very hard for me to show and express my feelings to the people I love. I had a couple of fights over this with my partner, and we're working to break through my trauma. Now everyone knows about my baby. My mom loves her, and my younger brother didn't really care that I had become a mom. He just loves her. My second older sister was the only one who didn't criticize me because, in her words, we all made the same decision, so I'm no one to judge. She's referring to all of us becoming young moms, and she has been good with me and my baby. The only thing she said that bothers me is that I kept the pregnancy secret from her. She thought I trusted her better to know, and she never would have judged me. Deep down, I do regret doing it to her. My dad and I don't talk to each other, which is another story. My older sister, the one I'm talking about in this story, was the only one who didn't talk to me since she knew about my baby. It's been 6 months since I told my family, and she was the only one who ignored me. Mind you, we were very close and talked on the phone daily. I tried to talk to her when my baby was 3 months old, and she did respond, but only to tell me what a mistake I made. She thought I knew better not to get pregnant and basically said the same thing my mom told me, that she was disappointed in me. The audacity. This woman really was trying to make me feel like crap just because I got pregnant young when she was doing really bad stuff I can't even say. But let's just say it could put you in jail if they caught you doing it. Yeah, it's just,
Well
again,
hunting? Unlicensed?
you're unlicensed well digging.
No, well hunting.
Whale hunting. Oh,
Is that what they call it?
I thought you were saying like digging a well without a permit.
That too.
You need to get back to that. You need to get back to the home well.
I do.
Get that water back in you.
I'm not feeling as strong as I used to.
And look, again, this is just another perfect. I mean, like, yeah, you were talking to her every day and you didn't tell her about the pregnancy. Good, because she would have done exactly what you were trying to avoid. Just based on her reaction right here, she would have immediately been up your butt about what a mistake you made and how she thought you were better than this and now she's disappointed and how it's going to ruin your life and blah, 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 blah. And it would have stressed you out and it could have complicated the pregnancy. So you, again, are nothing but vindicated here in making the right call. And I think, I know you're saying like, oh, I do regret not telling my other sister as well, but it's like, I think if you're not going to tell your mom and your sister or whatever, if you're already excluding certain family members, you got to go all the way. You got to make it full-blown secret because then it's like, hey, no one was excluded unequally. Like everyone had the same secret. And it was, again, not for any other reason than to keep my baby healthy. So if you guys are going to take that personally, that's just selfish. I wanted to tell you guys, but I couldn't risk my baby's health because I felt like it could possibly make it complicated. If you don't care about that, then you really don't care about the baby. This is just about you and wanting to feel important.
Yeah, these people are selfish. And if I were you, OP, I'd be looking for, I don't know, it might be smart to go low contact. And it seems like people are already going no contact with you and seeing how you can preserve a stable life for your child coming along and understanding like, okay, I know I'm not going to see my mom for holidays. Who am I going to see for holidays? Just thinking out these thoughts, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. I know you got it, and I know your love for your child. You'll definitely knock it out. But family just doesn't look like they're in your corner right now.
Pick the ones that are like that. Like, it sounds like you got one sister at least.
Yeah.
And your brother, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Find the people who are in your corner. So now this older sister is married and has a baby with her husband, and her life is very peaceful. I'm happy for her. I really am. But what I'm trying to say is that she's treating me like I did the most horrible thing when in reality she did worse. My other sister, who's 25, told me not to talk to her until she reaches out because she is a judgmental witch, her words, not mine, and to not talk to her until she apologized for ignoring me. And by the way, you shouldn't ignore the fact that we have full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen for days and days and days and days until days turn to months. Now, we do have a little bit more story left. I feel like we just kind of wrapped our thoughts up in a bow right before we got here. But now she texted me this morning asking me for some pictures of my baby with no apologies, not even a hello. I hate that my family does this all the time, treating each other very badly and then just letting some time pass and speaking like nothing happened. I let that slide with my mom because deep down I wanted to talk to her again, but obviously with boundaries, and it has worked, surprisingly. But with my sister, I love her, and I really want to have her in my life, but now it's just not my life. It's my baby's life too, and I'll be danged if I let them treat her like they treated me. I don't know what to do. I haven't responded to her text. Do I ignore her, or do I ask her for an apology? Any advice would be appreciated. That is the end of that story. I think you could nudge. I think you could send something like that. Doesn't sound... I didn't see an apology anywhere in that message.
Also, do whatever's going to keep your peace and your baby's peace, because that's what you preserved for the pregnancy. And I think that's also very important for a child at a young age, to have peace and stability. And if you know she's going to be rocking that up, shuffling that up, might not be smart to include her.
I think maybe you can make this like an entire group text. It's like the whole family just being like, hey, I just want to put it out there. Our communication style is horrific. All right. We cannot keep having these blow up arguments where we cross several lines and then just wait a couple weeks and then act like it never happened. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And none of us should be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I refuse to let my child grow up in an environment where that is normal in their family. So we either need to address this as a unit, or I'm only going to maintain a connection with those who are open to changing the way we communicate, which sounds like it'll be your brother, maybe your sister, but not your older sister or your mother.
But guys, that's the end of that episode. Thanks for joining. We got another one coming out tomorrow, like we always do. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you,
And see you tomorrow.